Hello. Slightly late.
Hello.
uh, I oof, was testing some things and time flew past me, so I almost was late for the show, but thankfully, Drake poked me in time. So now thank you for the raid, and while you turn my things off, of course you can have a compliment. What should it be? What would you like it to be about?
Those redeems so good.
Yeah. Good boy, turning redeems off. Let me just go to my corner and let's find the browser.
Find the browser. Gaming. Yes, I saw you were playing EDF. I guess you do like killing your own kind, don't you?
Okay, the cropping here is... Why is it so big?
Why is it so big?
That's what she asked. Gaming. Oh. So wait, you want to compliment about gaming, or not? You can do that. I didn't expect it though.
Oh.
Okay, how do I do this in a way where it isn't... You don't need to see that.
Sometimes I put the left side off screen a little, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I can make it even bigger if I want to.
Yeah.
But yeah. There you go.
So I was just in the middle of the document. Let's go to the top of it. There it is, folks.
Yep.
OP Bear first? Hell yeah. What would you like for your first? And posture check, okay. So can you please turn the reduce off? Tabletop compliment. I think, Sander, that we really have made progress recently getting you to approach things in a different way, which is going to be very conducive to making good characters. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy that happened, and I want to give you a big hug. Chin pads, okay, we can do chin pads. If I can find them. No. 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 There. Wah.
Wah.
What's on Doku's Alexa? It's this. It's Monsters, the RPG Rules 2.7 edition by Ken St. Andrews. Sorry.
Andres.
So what is this? Before we get into it, let's bask in this cover. In this very
can you share to me?
Oh, of course, sorry. In this very clip art cover.
No, gosh, it's so clip art.
Like the art is good individually, but it is fair to say that no effort was taken to make it fit together.
No, none. Zero.
I especially like this guy who I don't think can fly in the lore, but he's up there.
It kind of looks like he has a smoke trail behind him, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's flying with that. I don't know. Like, having looked into it slightly, this is the front cover of their DM screen, but then the clip art isn't on it.
Interesting. Huh.
And what I enjoy about it is just like the found footage of the average gaming group having picked their character art and now having it bonk together in the game in a way that is evocative but doesn't quite fit.
This almost feels like you have two different campaigns running, and then you do the crossover episode, and this is what it is.
Yeah, indeed.
Almost feels that way.
Well, this art is in the book as well. And I guess they wanted to put it on the cover too. Certainly a way to make this less expensive for them.
This feels very late 90s in that regard. Very late 90s was when they were very hell-bent, everybody in the gaming industry, on you can do what you want. You can be this crazy thing and that crazy thing. That's why Aberrant was released in 1999.
Yeah, this makes sense to me. Monsters. Yes, thank you for the resub. 48 months. Wait, does that mean it's my anniversary now? No, not quite.
Not quite.
Because almost you can sub on it's in a month. Like, it doesn't make sense why you can do it now. It's kind of weird.
It is a little weird.
So how you ask me how I got this or this book? Well, it might be that one Sonnet and possesses this book and has shared it to us for the purpose of this review. Thank you very much, Sonnet. So yeah, let's dive in. Let's look into this more. So we have an index here, which is a table of contents here, which is, we can see it's not a huge book. It's 112 pages of content, then plus some other things. At the end, like some advertisements, but those aren't really in there. That's just good. And then we can see that it's also not that many people worked on this.
No.
Ken St. Andre apparently made this, and then with David Logvin, yeah, and Steve Crompton. And then we have some art by Steve Crompton as well, in part. And then there's some other people, cover art. Because someone made this together.
Yep.
Maybe it's just the credit goes to both because both of the art on the cover. I don't know.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah. And then we have Trollhalla Press here, and we're like, what the fuck is Trollhalla Press? Well, they don't even have a website. That's how big they are. They have so big. The first thing I found is this page here, the TNT Adventures app. Where you can play Thunders and Trolls on your iPhone or Android device. And then if you scroll down all the way on this page, you find trollhallapresssteve@gmail.com. This is like if you had your plumbing business is like Bob Andrews plumbing Oregon @gmail.com.
Yeah.
Because without Oregon it was already taken. So yeah, these are the people who own Planets and Trolls, it turns out. But yeah, it is true, because Ken St. Andre's bibliography is this game, Force, whatever that is. He wrote Starfaring. He wrote all editions of Stormbringer, all 4, I think, that exist. Or is there more than 4? Probably is. To do more.
That's a question.
Yes, Elric.
There's a 5th edition.
Elric and 5th edition. Yeah, I was sure. Yeah. So he wrote. So Elric, the one we reviewed.
Yeah.
Years ago, he didn't write. And 5th edition is by Lynn Willis as well, so didn't write that either. But he wrote the first 4 editions of the Stormbringers, this Elric game, which is funny because we had certainly reviewed that before. Thieves World with multiple authors,
which is a big deal to some people.
No sense until Elric was always part of. Elric is the Stormbringer. It just names is different. It's the same thing.
Stormbringers is the branding so that you can bring other people into it, so that it's not it all centers on this one guy. Is not what you ask then. Kind of like if you rebranded Conan as, I don't know, adventures in a realm undreamt or something.
Yeah. Then Tunnels and Trolls, all of it, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Still very much what he's most famous for, Tunnels and Trolls.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
And then a bunch of adventure modules, a big bunch, including Harlequin with multiple authors for Shadowrun.
Yep. He did Harlequin.
One of the most highly regarded adventure books in Shadowrun, but also one of the most whack because there's so many errors in it that the DM has to correct on their own time. There's a famously a hacking chart in there because that's second edition Shadowrun, by the way, where you have to go through hosts and go from host connections, where the goal host isn't connected to anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how do I get there? Well, you don't if you just follow the map, which is a big problem if your DM is like unsure about how it should work and just going by the book. Like many DMs were at the time because Matrix stuff was not super popular. And then it's being like, you still haven't found it. Oh no.
Yeah, the other note about Harlequin is it's so infamous that it is the thing that people outside of the Shadowrun fan base know about.
Yes.
Sort of like the expedition. It's their expedition to the Barrier Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's the thing everybody knows about.
Yes, it is. It's also, if the DM can fix things, it's quite good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It features a bunch of elf poses that you fuck with in an adventure. And then they have a unicorn, which is just a horse with a glued-on horn.
Yes.
And it's all very pathetic. And you can expose them. If you do, people don't like it for some reason.
Yeah, look at all this other stuff he's done too, because so much of this other stuff is like zooming in on things in Tunnels and Trolls.
Mm-hmm.
He's done so much. He's been in comic books.
He's been a gun for hire in this industry for a long time and has his own thing going.
And for context, he was born in 1947, so he's an old man.
Very old now, yes. This man brought out this game. And then he worked... Oh, sorry. You go?
One of the reasons why this guy deserves to be focused on is, and this is something that I remembered and then verified, Tunnels and Trolls, a lot of people just think, oh, that was just like somebody's knee-jerk response to D&D. His actual reason for coming up with Tunnels and Trolls was he is the foremost advocate of the theater of the mind roleplay.
Mm-hmm.
He hated the requirement for miniatures for D&D. He hated the wargaming aspect of it. He hated those things. And he wanted the roleplay to be roleplay.
Yeah.
And for people to imagine things and be creative and so on. It's very obvious throughout the DNA of this product we're about to review. But the reason why I bring this up is that he did this way back when. Like, he was one of the first people to really insist on it. So, who's to say? He might be one of the people who is the reason why we have Storyteller System today. Because a lot of that is also theater of the mind. Who knows? Some people would have been inspired directly by him. So, important guy.
Like, you can always argue that if not him, then someone else. But like, then in the end, it's him. So,
yeah, it's him. He was super hardcore about it, and he's still publishing this shit to this day.
Yeah,
like a legend, but not necessarily like a cornerstone of the industry.
Yeah, like he made his own path more or less. Because most of the people we know as legends in quotation marks, it's just like
he worked on Wasteland.
Yeah, he did work on Wasteland. I was going to get to that. This is only foray into computer games is Wasteland 1 and 2, for which he wrote. Like the story.
Yeah.
So you can probably thank him very directly for toaster repair.
You can thank him for that,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like, did so much stuff like over the years. This is kind of like huge, of course. Also wrote a bunch of novels. Oh yeah, like long career, long list of accomplishments here. And the other two authors that I mentioned are Steve S. Crompton, who is an artist mainly for things, but he did have custodianship over Monsters for a while. And yeah, not much to say except he's the artist. Literally, some of the art we'll see today is from him in this book. And the other guy is Steve S. Crompton, who R.I.P. because he's no longer alive as far as Monsters this book will tell us. Who is also an artist, essentially, and worked on this book. Yeah, but they have way less like writing credit.
Oh, he did art for the nuclear war card games.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an old one.
Yeah. So yeah, having gone over this, you have edited by Stephen Jones, Stephen Crompton, the game design, some extra things here. First printing, so a year ago. Yeah. And then we have
every kind of monster is represented here. Like that was a manticore there. Now we have something vaguely lich-like.
Yeah. The art in this is very old, like a good mix of old and new, and is very evocative overall. I like the art in this. Let's say this. Like the cover, honestly, doesn't put its best foot forward on the art front, just because it looks like collage. But this is fine. This forward though is by Ken is a bit of a trip, because it reads very much like, hey, you have been following this game for 20 years, so I don't have to explain anything. Here's just a bunch of stuff I want to say. Which, yeah. It confused me when I read it. A little bit. But let's it's fine. Let's not go too far over it. Okay. So this game, what does this game do different? What is it about? Well, in most RPGs, you are like some human or offshoot who goes into places and ransacks them and takes the stuff. In this game, you're supposed to be the monster who just lives there and is running their own business, and then this fucking human comes in and tries to steal your stuff. So we're very much reversing the idea. And again, this is probably like concept is from 1976 and it's been unchanged. It's not a hard idea to come by, of course.
Oh yeah.
Like the DM is already playing the monsters, so why shouldn't players do it?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so
50-year-old idea.
Yeah, and so far so correct. I'm on board with this.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Then you ask, like, what would a monster do? Like, depends what you're playing. A lot of them explaining. If you're playing a troll, you might have different ideas from, like, playing the nightmare horse or whatever. Oh yeah, right. You can. Yeah, there's some. So you're stun locked by the green box. It's one of the very few green boxes in this.
Oh yeah, very few.
Yeah, okay. So you might want to establish an attribute total. It says here, way too early in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah. So it's basically saying power level before we even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it is. But it's very interesting how this game approaches power anyway. So let's look at the rules, because they start us immediately with the rules. We roll 3d6 8 times, and those are our attributes. We have 8 attributes: strength, constitution, dexterity, speed, intelligence, luck, wizardry, and charisma. Best to assign this guy's rolls to strength, luck, dex, and speed if one is going to focus on physical combat. Why? Well, we'll see why. If the character is going to rely on magic and trickery, it is best to assign them to IQ, Dex, Wiz, and Charisma. However, you may assign them as you wish. I can't disagree with this because this game is not very complicated. So this is yeah. So next, classes. There's no classes. Just aren't, because you're a monster. No, you choose your species, and here are 5 species. And we can play a troll, we can a forest or jungle, we can play a serpent man, an uruk, a gremlin, or a zim by default. There's more information about each species on page 44. We're going to get to that. You can also play other race things if the DM allows. We'll get to that as well. But this is a finished character sheet. As you can see, it does not take long to make a character because we just did it. Like we still need weapons maybe, and still that's about it. But there's some derived stats in here, or there's one derived stat that's very important. It even explains it right here. Your personal combat adds. You get 1 combat add for every point that each of these attributes is over 12. Strength, luck, dex, and speed. Which is why they said physical combat, you want these up.
Yep, that's exactly what.
Yeah. And I want to draw attention to one thing that jumped out at me when I read these races. They are very much not created equal.
No.
Like, if you want to be a combat character, Troll has by far the best stats for that, because he gets 20 to strength and con, adds 10 to dex, subtract 3 from luck. Okay, so that's slightly minus 3 to luck, but so we are plus 47. And with Serpent Man, we would be plus 24 instead. With Uruk, we would be plus 8, 5, we would be at 5, plus 5, which is worse, but plus, wow. And then Gremlin subtracts from strength and con, but adds to luck and dex. So we had plus 2 overall. And Ogre, finally, the Zim. Strength, 10 to strength, 20 to con, so 30. Subtract 5 from IQ, or subtract 3 from luck, so 27 plus 5 dex, 32. Has 4 arms as well. So I want us to remember the Troll and the Zim for later. Also, I want to point out that the Troll gets add 30 points to Charisma for some reason.
Yep. It's the opposite of what you would expect.
Well, is it though? We'll get to it. As written here, you get a lot of charisma as a troll for some reason. Well, you might say, but aren't they just very scary guys? And isn't that what is? Yeah, but then the ogre would also get it, right? At least some doesn't.
Yep.
Gremlins don't get any either. Subtracted from charisma even. They are not scary. Uruks also add to charisma, but only 2. And Serpentmen subtract 5. Not much through line here. And the other thing that you get is special abilities, maybe. Like Troll self-regenerating. Regenerates some d6 of health every 10 minutes. Serpentman gets armor. Gets teeth and claws. And Uruks get fire resistant. And gremlins get bad luck. The presence of a gremlin within 10 feet will automatically reduce the luck attribute of every non-gremlin range by 25%. Does this stack? We don't know. And Zim also gets regeneration, 10% of their con per turn. So stronger than trolls, actually. Which is also unusual, because normally the troll is the big regen man. It's a different world, so we have to, get to it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but we have made a character kind of. Like if we pick troll, we 3d6 plus 20 plus blah blah, and then we get this. We figure out our combat adds, and then we are done. Like we need to do weapons, but again, those are coming pretty fast. Now the question becomes: okay, first question: how do we do combat? The game asks us. It hasn't even explained to us that we can do other things.
Yep. We immediately into this.
How do we do combat? Well, you look at what weapons you have, And those give you dice. And this is for the whole table, essentially for the whole fight, basically, is what they want you to do it for. So let's say you have 3 guys on each side and they each only fight with their fists. That would be 3 dice versus 3 dice. But then you roll those and you get whatever is the total, one side wins, right? Not so simple, because you add everybody's combat adds to this total also.
Mm-hmm.
So your natural ability is just a bonus, and which bonus, as we can see, can be quite high. Like 25, a bonus of 25 is giant cudgel for 4d6. It's one of the best weapons you can get as a player to start. 25 is way more than you can even roll. I mean, technically you can roll 24 on 46, but good luck. Usually it's gonna get like 13 or something, average. So they weren't kidding when they said put that into these 4 attributes. It's a very, very important. Okay, so then you arrive at a final number. Let's say one side has 110, the other side is 100. If the game doesn't say if every person rolls their own dice and you add it all together, or if one person rolls all the dice, doesn't really matter, right? So then the pools are compared, and the losing side takes the difference as damage to their characters. Which you would say, okay, so then we have next round, we're going to take another side might take damage, blah, blah, blah. Problem is, now you go into, well, my con just went down.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's con. And you can take hits from different places, by the way. So you can say, okay, I took 3 damage, you took 3 damage, you took 3 damage. And I took the first 4, 3, and 3 or something. Regardless of what it is, now their con is down. Con is one of the things, is none of the things in here, so actually it doesn't change. You're fine.
Yep.
But if somebody is out, if your con is just 2 hit points, if it reaches 0, you're out. Mm-hmm. And for example, if it's like a fight 1 versus 2 and the one guy hits and wins the fight, then you can't. You basically normally you would. How do I put this? You would apply the damage between, but it doesn't make sense. So if one person has to take the damage, then is I think what it wants you to do.
Yeah, it wants you to do it in a way that makes sense, because the emphasis is this is theater of the mind. This is how we do combat, but how you describe it is more important than these rules here.
Yes.
Which very unique approach, I have to say.
Unique approach. I, as a resolution mechanic, I like it. It can be very, very one-sided though, easily.
It's so fast, yeah.
Like just imagine if you didn't have an even combat where like one side is like 20 behind, say, and then each side is 46. You're not gonna win that anymore. Like you have to at minimum roll 24 if the other side only rolls once. But if the other side only rolls once, this is a rule in this. If you roll only once, you would actually roll again. Because any roll that shows the same number on all the dice, you take all the dice, roll again, and add it to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's. I don't think they talked about it here, but it would happen if we rolled all once. But whatever. To explain, like, I will give them that there's always good examples in this, like he who rolled what, and then someone takes damage, falls to the ground, blah blah blah. They always explain well, and I like the armored up Meladorian. He is precious. I love him. Hey, Chief. Monsters don't go to class now, they never do. And then there's a nice little concept, which is spite damage. The monster side in a fight, and the game assumes there are two. Like, if there are 2 monster sides to both do it, I don't know. Doesn't say. But since you usually fight people, not other monsters in this, for every single one that is rolled in a combat round, the good side takes 1 damage. Spite damage gives monsters of any size a chance to do damage to an opponent, even if they lost a combat round. For every one rolled on the combat dice, an enemy takes 1 point of damage. Straight to MR or con. Armor doesn't protect against spite damage.
Yep.
Because armor works like you would think. If you take 5 damage and your armor have 3 armor, you take 2 damage.
Yep.
But not from
Armor
this.
very good.
Yeah. We arrive at one of the problems that this book will have throughout is that, hey, what if I am fighting a monster? Does the losing side always take this damage? Because we are both monsters and we do spite damage? Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. My assumption with the wackiness of this game is yes.
Yeah, my assumption would also be yes, but it should say it does not.
Yep, should say it.
Yeah. Missile combat is weird in this. Very weird. It's gonna get even weirder as we go deeper. So monsters rarely use missile weapons for some reason. And those that do are proficient in their use. Monsters or characters using monster or mankind ratings always hit any target larger than small, i.e. bigger than a bread box, and do their damage. So they never miss.
Mm-hmm.
Monsters with attributes are good shots, but must always take a level 2 saving roll on Dex to hit a moving target and a level 1 saving roll on Dex to hit a stationary one. So you have to roll a Dex check. We'll get to what a save is in a minute.
Yep.
Actually, I haven't explained that yet, but we'll get to it soon. They will always hit any target at point blank range and always miss any target at long range or greater. The GM determines the range. Like, these are weird rules, aren't they? Always miss,
Super
always
weird.
hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're running away, they kind of want you to get away, question mark. Like I have a genuinely hard time quite understanding, since the DM decides what's long range, right? There isn't really a table that says longbow has, I don't know, 300 foot of range or at long range or whatever. It's very DM fiat in this, but then at the same time it says, yeah, you will hit your target if it's close enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this part very much. Like, no. This is just as complicated as just saying, yeah, roll a check.
Mm-hmm.
This is arguably more complicated and just more DM fiat thing. And all it will do is make you, as a, if you are on the receiving end of it, make you have to always focus the archers first, because otherwise they will hit you every turn. Right? There isn't a way around it. The rules say they always hit. Like, okay, I guess they class humans as monsters, so these rules also apply to humans. But still, like, in depending on the circumstances, they will always hit you. And that's not amazing. That's not amazing, obviously. So you would always have to focus these guys, since your con is not super high usually. Like, if a bow does 2d6 damage, it's respectable. And we don't know yet what the range weapon does as damage, but whatever. Armor, they explain here, works the exact same as you would expect, as I said. There is a special rule for some species where they can burn armor. I don't say classes here because blah. Burning armor means you count armor as double, but if you, then the armor takes damage. Basically, the armor is reduced by the. Let's say you have armor 5 and you take 8 damage. Then you could say, well, I take no damage, but my armor is now 2.
Yep. So I understand what they're trying to simulate with that. They're trying to simulate you swinging a shield to meet an attack so that you don't get hurt, but you break your shield.
Yep, exactly. And importantly, it is the recipient's decision. Like, if you take the damage, you can decide, does it go to con or does it go to my armor? It always goes to your armor for the amount the armor is good for, but then you can have your armor be shred in the combat but not take damage, which can... I can definitely see the use for that. Probably gonna use that if I would otherwise go unconscious or were in the range of that. But still, yeah, it's nice. I like this rule, and that feels good. That's something many games should probably have in some manner. We have rules for surprise attacks. What is that? Well, it's simple. That's a round in which the other side gets a 0 for their fucking combat roll. They only get their rating. Or this roll dice? Wait. Yeah, okay, you only roll. Yeah, okay. You plus 15. Yeah. So you take your full thing. I just. Oh my god, I just realized you don't get any defense.
Nope.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I was so sure you would at least defend with your rating or something. Okay.
No.
You want to surprise attack at every time, at every point. Just realized. Because if 3 trolls roll up on you and surprise you, you're in for a bad time. It makes narrative sense. It isn't. Like, you don't want it to happen to you, though, that's for sure. Holy shit.
This is also, like, there are some things in the DNA of this that are direct reactions, and this is one of those things. The surprise attacks being so debilitating is a direct reaction to the whole, oh my god, the heroes keep sneaking up on us. Like, it's very obvious that that's the thing that they're going with here. Where, oh no, I'm playing the monster now. I should be doing the sneaking up on the heroes. Fuck that. Yeah. They've killed so many orcs using this. Now it's time to get some payback.
Yes.
There's some of that in here.
Yes. This also points you towards characters in this are probably not necessarily meant to live very long.
No.
Like the inference there is very obvious. Something's up with my audio cable. 1 second. Okay, I can hear you again. Yeah. And then they explain monster rating. What's that? Well, if you have like it's also a mankind rating. It's funny. If you have like a gaggle of stuff that isn't really statted out, you can just give it a rating. And then instead of using the add points, they will fight with the rating. And the rating, if it goes down, then they might be fucked, basically. To get what I mean. Oh yeah, look at this. So if you a number of the charisma score giant spider is not useful information for quick encounters. Use an alternative statistic called monster rating. This is a simple number that ranks its power. The MR number will be used as its con, and dividing by 10 yields the number of dice it rolls when it attacks. Damage dice are a constant number, even when the creature is heavily wounded. Combat adds are calculated by taking the current MR divided by 2. But current MR is important. Based on wounds taken and rounding up. And then that's also like, imagine like your troll party attacking a village or something. And there's like 20 farmers. How do we represent this? Well, they're gonna start by having, like, you can imagine there's 5 farmers there. They have an MR of, I don't know, 50 or 20 or something. And you beat them up. But then more farmers arrive, so the MR goes up in the next combat, even though you beat some. But then you beat more, and then some run away, so the next turn it's like reduced. It's a nice, quick system for resolving mass combat. And where you can have like your party wade through a bunch of like Mook opponents, kind of. Works kind of well, in my opinion, for this game. You can convert your party's stuff to MR. And humanoid's con is their mankind rating. Calculated MR is useful for a wild player maneuver called beast mode. Suddenly mentioned here, apropos of nothing, that you can do beast mode. So basically, for player characters, your con is just your MR. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you use beast mode, you can attack twice, but each turn you take MR damage until the MR is spent. If you spend it, you will basically either they collapse from a frenzy or battle rage once MR goes to 0, unconsciousness, or there is no one, friend or enemy, within 20 foot. Moving, fighting, talking, because it's quite easy to accidentally attack your comrades. Using this berserk mode of combat, you would have to attack your friends. Better step away. So this is a quick rule for berserking, which is weird because you attack twice. They don't tell you what that means for the combat stat thing in general. Because imagine the situation, right? We are fighting, the troll party is fighting the human party. And one of us, and you are doing that in the just described regular combat system where you have combat ads and shit. You have added them together. And it's 100 versus 100, 3 versus 3, bonking each other. And now one troll says, well, I want to go berserk. So now you have to know their MR, which isn't hard because it's their con. But now they attack twice. Do they just add the dice to the pool one more time? Is this now its own combat? Because you can split combats into smaller combats, which they say somewhere else. Or is this resolved another way? I genuinely couldn't tell you because I don't think the book tells you.
No.
And this isn't to say I couldn't adjudicate this. Like, it's not complicated. I would probably say you put the dice in twice.
Yeah, you would.
But it doesn't say. And that is going to become a bit of an issue as we go forward in this book. Because it feels written for people who have played this game for 50 years.
Yeah, literally. That's how it feels like. This feels like the addition of, you know what we're talking about, you dummy, slaps back of head.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this edition really feels like.
And not necessarily it's not necessarily patronizing, but it just leaves out information.
Yeah.
Which in a more complicated system would be deadly. In this, it's just like, why don't you tell me? Because I can adjudicate it, but am I adjudicating it like you want to now, or am I doing it differently?
Am I adjudicating it poorly, Daddy? Yeah, it's one of those things. Ironically, the Toon game is actually slightly more complicated than this. So there you go, guys. Like, this game is so simple that it's simpler than that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they leave some things out, which then makes it less able to be played immediately because you have to establish a few things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Also, since the Berserk mode, this is a little pro tip from Nura to you if you play this game. MR is your con, right? But if MR goes down, does con go down? Doesn't say. Convince your DM that it doesn't. MR is just MR. Mm-hmm. And then you all berserk and beat the other side. And then you just step away from each other. And then you win. And it costs you some MR, but since MR, it does never say that you are con, like if MR goes down, con goes down.
Mm-hmm.
It's one-sided in that explanation. It's if con goes down, MR goes down, but the other way around, question mark. Let's convince the DM that it doesn't, and then you are cool to use this every time.
Yep, exactly.
I'm of course joking, you don't do that, but also you need to put this information in. People might play your game completely wrong.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep. This is a game you can easily play very wrong because stuff is left out.
Yeah.
Stuff is glaringly left out.
Like it is again very glaring. There's only two explanations for why it's left out. A, it was so obvious to the author that they didn't put it in because they didn't remember that it needs to be put in. Or B, it's just oversight. It's just not here because people forgot to put it there. And I couldn't tell you which it is. Only game rules is that it's only wrong if no one's having fun. Exactly. Actually,
Yep.
I was thinking, do I talk about this now? Do I talk about this? I will talk about this now. We're going to the very end of the book. I think it's this. No, it's this page. Yes. Final guidelines from Ken.
Yeah.
Ken the Troll God. He says basically there's 2 paragraphs of, oh yes, read my book, thanks. You might not like everything in here. You might disagree with some rules. Want to know the secret? I'll tell you, but don't go spreading this around, because knowing this gives you an advantage over all those people who don't know it. And I only want my friends to know the secret. Here it is. There are no rules. There are only guidelines.
Yep.
It's like the Pirates Code. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp's best role ever. Thank you for putting that in here. These 3 lines could explain the rules problems I have of it so far. So yeah, he is very much a proponent of, but say it differently if you find it funny. Here's your official allowance. But to this I say, Ken, your game is so simple but also very elegant, because I kind of like these rules. Because these rules actually work super well, like as written, to show me, okay, there might be an overwhelming force just beating down on an inferior foe, and that's how that works.
Yeah.
Like, they are not going to take casualties. They might take a nick to their armor from I don't know, someone getting slightly stabbed during the attack, but that's all. Like, they take the spite damage, but that's all.
Chip damage, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. And that's great. But it's so simple. That's the way you actually want it to be used, because actually you aren't doing that. You aren't giving us your rules and saying you use these or use this differently. No, you're actually not giving us all the necessary rules to play your game as written. Like, I have to change things because you didn't tell me what they are, what you want me to do. Here in this example, yes, I can see you probably want the MR and con to always be the same. If one goes down, the other goes down. Just say it. Yeah. It's not, it wouldn't take more text even.
It really wouldn't.
And in a double attack, it should specify what you want us to do with double attack. Doesn't either. And I'm sorry, but that's I agree with your philosophy, and I love it. And I agree so hard with it that all the people are rules lawyering their heart out about, like, I don't know, Pathfinder or something, and acting it's the be all end all because it literally does have a rule for everything. I'm like, oh my god, why though? It takes so much longer. Just find the way it works at the table and play it like that. Who fucking cares? That's why I like Fabula Ultima, because Fabula Ultima gives you a few simple resolution mechanics that you can apply to any situation. That's all you need.
That is all you need. And then, like, that's why Savage Worlds was so good for the same reason. It just has a few simple resolution mechanics, and then, hey, if you need to do this, cool, just use the resolution mechanic, and you can adapt it in this way. And then they give you 150 examples. Yeah, like that's a strong system right there. One that's just like, yep. Oh, you really want to do a car chase scene? Cool. Well, use the resolution mechanic, but do it this way.
Yeah, and that's what would work great here if it was would do that from start to finish. It just kind of, but that's the issue they have with this book. I think it's highly playable because, again, the what it leaves out isn't so complicated. But since it is such a simple system, please just write correctly and concisely what it works.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
And then they explain saving role. Okay, let's go back to it. We where monster have basic character rolled up, blah blah. Saving role. A saving role is basically any time you want to do something that isn't fighting.
Yep.
The DM will assign a difficulty to it. You roll 2 dice and add your relevant attribute. Doubles roll over, which is a Darrow rule. If you roll a 1 and a 2, which is the lowest you can roll in the system, it's a 3, you fail. It's always a failure. If you roll it 1 into 1, it's Darrow, so you roll again and you add together. It never says anywhere that you stop adding up. That's another thing they just don't say. Like, do I roll over 5 times if I roll doubles 5 times? Probably.
Yeah, probably do.
But it does never say. And that's another one where I'm like, guys, let's put it in. Let's put in the version you want me to do. Because these aren't even things you can disagree on, really. Like, in my opinion. It's just like, just tell me one or the other, and either is fine, but tell me.
Please just tell me. Like, give me the one sentence. Like, you're not even in one sentence. It's 5 words. Like, these things are glaring omissions. And yes, I was being a little over the top with my smack in the back of the head thing. But this is an old man. And I just imagine that there's a lot of, we've been doing it this way for 50 years, kid, in the brain.
Oh, yes, I agree.
This.
I agree.
So it has that energy to me as a result, because I feel like somebody needs to smack me in the back of the head and tell me this at this point. Because I'm like, dude, what do I do? Do I just keep rolling?
You need the young one, my friend. You need the young one who doesn't know this game to tell you, hey, this is unclear. And then you need to swallow your pride and actually put it in.
Yeah, just put it in. Like, it's not a big deal. Just do it.
Yeah. Like, I really enjoy that they have such long and detailed example pages, for example, like as a positive in this book.
Yeah, big positive.
Like, this really does explain everything about a normal roll and how your saving roll would work. If they fail one, then they do a second roll that they succeed in. And so on and so forth. That's really well made. It shows that you can write well for this game. But then there's just these omissions, which you take you 1,000,000% right. This is just stuff that they know so by heart that it doesn't have to be explained. So they just forgot. Honestly,
this is, and I focus on this because this is part of the DNA of a lot of games being written today. Vampire 5th edition leaves out a lot of stuff because there's some aspect of that in there. 5th edition 5.05 D&D leaves out so much information about the races that you can play, to the point where somebody can open the book and say, I don't know how to play a dwarf. They literally will be saying that. And these omissions, there's a lot of resting on their laurels when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, but when it comes to other games like this, you probably haven't played a Tunnels and Trolls game if you're opening this for the first time.
Yeah, and arguably in this it's still less bad than in other games that are more detailed, because in this, well, it doesn't say it stops exploding, so that's my logic would be it keeps exploding, right?
Yeah.
But there's never an example, because the examples are kind of, honestly, when I read this book where I was looking for the detailed explanation of the rules, not even the text here, not even this text is not as interesting as the examples.
Yeah.
But again, my point is, your system is very simple, but in an elegant way, which is really something I enjoy.
Yeah, me too.
So the few things that you need to explain for your system, they should really be explained in a concise and like complete manner. Because that's the only way you can then say, if you want to change anything about this, just change it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because again, technically, I don't know if doubles keep exploding. I can infer, I can assume. But it's like saying, do we round up or down in this? It's a question that always comes up at the table. It ultimately probably doesn't change very much about the outcome of anything, but everyone wants to know anyway. Right? And then almost all books will tell you, do we round up or down, but it will almost all tell you somewhere in the text of 400 pages of rules, and you will never find it. So you just end up using one or the other rule anyway. So I'm not saying this guy is alone in this, but it is more obvious in a system that has so few rules, right?
Yep, it stands out way more. It stands out way more.
Yeah.
Because if this was a thick tome of 500 pages, okay, let's say 800. Let's say it's Mage 20th Anniversary Edition.
Yeah.
If something is wrong with like the spheres of a particular rote, it doesn't stand out quite as much. But if it happens repeatedly, that's when it does. But here, it just has to happen one time.
Yep, exactly. Because in a normal, like, no, I say normal, in like a thing like D&D, if you didn't know if you round up or down, you would even think about that because there's like 80 more pages of rules coming that you're gonna have to half remember later. In this, you can fully remember the full rules and then see like, but there's holes in them though.
Yep.
But anyway, to explain saving roll completely, they have ranks. They go from 1 to infinity. Rank 1 is the difficulty 20, rank 2 is 25, rank 3 is 30, and so on. Each rank goes up by 5 difficulty. So if we look at our Serpent Man here, 2d6 plus 5, they could never make a charisma save, ever.
Nope.
Unless they roll doubles. Wisdom, same thing. But they would always make a strength, con, and speed one, because their base attribute is just 20, right? Or luck is also quite good. So it would also make luck and IQ, because you can't actually roll below a 20 on 2d6. And if you roll exactly 20 with IQ 18, you just have rolled doubles, so you roll over. Meaning that the system also, even before you start rolling anything, informs you about, can I even make this?
Yeah.
Which is also something I like.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually.
You have to be prepared for your character to actually be unable to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Like
unlike other games.
Yeah. If you are this Serpent Man, you will never do a charisma thing successfully. Unless you raise this, which we can. But at the start, at least, impossible. And then also you can be very mathematically sure that if I have to do a level 4 strength thing, which would be a 35.
Yep.
Probably not to do that either, because I have to roll 13 on 2d6, which is kind of difficult. So there's just moments in which you will not be able to do things at all, but there will be other moments in which you are more or less guaranteed to do things, which is, that's a good decision by the game, because we are playing monsters, right? We are playing a troll, we are playing a giant creature of some kind that's very strong, so you can just throw the rock. You don't have to even talk about it. It's easy. But other things are harder. I like it.
I like that a lot, actually, because that's the other thing. Like, if you play a monster campaign, you are playing extremes.
Yeah.
You just are.
Yeah.
And I liken this to like superhero stuff. When the Thing punches Scarlet Witch is really going to feel it. But when the Thing punches the Hulk, he doesn't feel it so much. And this is that kind of game, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like this because it's simulationist, but in the simplest way possible.
Yes.
Like, it does have realism to it, and I can very much judge what an outcome will be. Argue very well, since most of the outcome is just your base stat. That's nice. That's good. But at the same time, it's so fast with the resolution that there isn't really the necessity to bring out the calculator like for so many simulationist games. Okay. Saving rolls basically are your normal resolution mechanics, so they will govern stuff. But the game is also about a level 1 save being something that's a first level roll, something that could be difficult for the average monster, as the target number is 20, right? So you aren't meant to roll for simple things at all.
Yep. This is another one of those systems where they basically are at the outset saying, no, don't roll to breathe, please.
Yes.
Which I make that joke, but seriously, there are games that are like that. Mm-hmm. And that is a holdover from a lot of past, let's just say, 3rd edition Brain, where you had a skill for everything. I'm going to roll to use rope.
Yeah, exactly. Sucks. Boring.
That's so hard.
Also, to point that out, like, assuming you're playing a human who get no bonuses to anything, but also no minuses to anything. Yep. Which is true in this system, as in all. A 20 is rolling. If you think about it, you would roll 5d6 here because you have 36 attributes, 2d6 for the skill check. So technically, you succeed little than half of the time, little less than half of the time, on a check of 20, which is kind of good sweet spot. They picked a good sweet spot.
They really did. Yeah, they've been playing with d6s for forever. They know what they're doing.
Yep. So, and then stunts is okay if you're in a fight and you don't want to just fight. Those are all stunts, and they are also used via saving rolls. And how that works is basically this page is interesting because it gives you rolls from explanation directly into the example without saying so. The DM will just assign a roll according to how difficult they think the thing you're trying to do is, and then make you do it. In the example, they say, oh, this one guy is getting attacked by two guys. I would like to drop to the ground and kick them in the shins, basically, and then run away. Okay. Would really have to catch them a surprise. To require 2 LSR on speed. So level 2 25 speed save. 2 because there's 2 foes, which makes immediate sense to me. The kick successfully will require 2 LSR dex. Hit them in the ankles. And then we have a 16 and 21. So he needs to do a 25 on speed. And a 16. Can be done. Not easy. You have to roll a 9 on 2d6. And then 4 on dex.
Yep.
And then I leave it to you, dear reader, to determine whether Morg succeeds in this desperate move, and so live to run away and fight another day, or whether his foes were not fooled and chopped him into wolf meat on his way down. I like it. I feel like this was a real thing that really happened in the game. And I feel like the guy didn't roll his 9 on speed, but yeah. Good rule. Again, very simple. Like the stunting works, gives the DM and the player a lot more freedom of doing all of boxing. Exactly. And a lot of the time, like if we go back here and look, for example, at Gremlin, right? Subtracts 4 from strength, adds 5 to luck and dex, and subtracts 6 from charisma. So the Gremlin, for example, has an attack bonus of, like, you can expect your attribute bonus to adds to be like low. You have good luck and maybe good dex, but your strength and speed are terrible. So your bonus isn't that high. But if you can just get people to fall down from a thing you do, because your dex is so high, you can be useful in a fight immediately. And this one simple little rule gives you a resolution for everything else you want to do in a fight that is not directly damaging. And that's interesting because with this you could run the interference character that just is like, okay, we know that the biggest guy on their side is the warrior that gets the biggest combat adds. I'm just going to distract him this turn by running around him really fast and hitting at his biting his ankles when he isn't looking. So he has to focus on me. And then you roll your speed dex save or whatever and make it. And then that guy for that round isn't in the combat. Like, you aren't damaging him, but you're also finishing off his friends now because the 30, 40 points of combat adds he was providing are not going to the other side, while your side lost only you, who is maybe like 15 adds or something. Like, you can, this is kind of the breathing out of the system where you can, sure, you want the ogres to beat down the other guys, but then what do the goblins do? Well, the goblins run interference, more or less.
Yep, exactly. The entire point of this system is you have 8 attributes.
Yep.
And they're going to get used, all of them, eventually.
Yep.
And if you have ridiculously high something, you can use it. Just do a stunt. And there are some things later that very much lend to the idea of, well, let's do an intelligence stunt. And it's there.
It's
in the DNA. Which, very good, very good. We'll compare again to Tune. In Tune, yes, you could use your chutzpah to make an attack roll. So,
Yes. So what is then? We have the rule of chaos factor. There's some very random assortment of rules here overall, I must say. Like, it's not really. It feels like we have gathered together a bunch of rules from our game kind of moment.
Oh yeah.
What's chaos factor? Well, monsters have a level. How do we math that out? Either we were already told or we will be told soon. But so once per turn, which is a turn is quite short. If your monster isn't a magic user, it's very important. Non-magic using monsters have a chaos factor equal to their level. This chaos factor allows them to change the total of any dice roll by that number of points, either up or down. They can do this every time the DM calls for one or more players or NPCs to roll dice, but only once per turn. This can work for either combat rolls or saving rolls, but not both on the same turn. One monster gets one effect per turn. Monsters of the same species may combine their chaos power to alter the dice roll, but different species can't. So within a turn, what does that mean? Well, let's say we are fighting again. There's a troll and 2 orcs fighting 3 humans. The 3 humans don't get the chaos factor because they are humans. But the 2 orcs could say, well, we want to lower their fighting roll by our level. And that's valid, though their fighting roll goes down. And then the troll can't do that same thing this turn, but he could lower another roll by the other side, by his monster level. Like if they're trying a stunt or something, he could lower that. A very one-sided rule, which only benefits the party and which this game needs, because so far this game is hyper deadly. And with this, suddenly it isn't that deadly anymore.
Mm-hmm.
With this, you have the ability to actually do some strategizing during fight, which I really like. This tied it together for me in terms of, but someone just dies. When you lose every turn even more. What do you do? And then you realize, oh, this is there. Okay, so this is the equalizer. Mm-hmm. This is what you can do. And because the swing is so high, this is crazy good rule. Like, this is crazy powerful. Like in the example, Smack the Dragon's level 50 monster. When he attacks his flame breath, he would roll 50 dice. And that's his combat rolls. You can already see level is also really important. Level is really fucking important. Because non-stated monsters roll their level as dice. But this level 50 dragon could then also be like, yeah, fuck this. I'm gonna lower your roll by 50. Would decrease the hero's die roll if possible, just enough to make it come to bad news for the hero. However, if the hero aiming at him, so yeah. So this is interesting. I thought you always loaded by 50. Could add 50 damage. By what? I'm confused. Oh, up or down, right? Up or down. I'm stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can only use it once. How would you not always do 50 down? It's so much better than adding damage. Effect one of them at that turn. Oh.
Yep.
So I could do this, but I couldn't affect, like, if 3 people attack me, I can affect 1 person with this.
Mm-hmm. That's the limiting factor.
That kind of makes it iffy, like makes it annoying to use in group combat.
It does. Also, like, it doesn't say, can I reduce that guy by 50 and then have him go into the negative, and then that still affects the total being compared against me? And I would say yes, of course it would.
Yeah, seeing how the 50 is maybe a very over-the-top example here, because if we go back to our guy, their monster level was 2. And I forget how they arrive at it. This is what I was actually looking for the other time. Here. Highest attribute number your character has divided by 10 determines your level. So that dragon is a cool 500 strength or something. And if you had attributes, blah, blah. Okay, so yeah. So your normal level is not that, your monster level isn't that high. Like as a troll, you might have be level 3 at most. Maybe level 4 if your charisma is really high. It's not even about it being the same. It's all about, okay, so in a normal fight where people are like level 2 or 3 or 4 at the start, and they're going to stay that way for a while, this rule it doesn't matter for the combat. You can just say, okay, we're reduced by 8. It won't matter. Once you are level 50, then it becomes silly within the rule framework. But you are probably never going to be level 50 anyway, so who cares?
No, who cares?
And then you get adventure points. What are those? Well, these are your XP. We can stop searching for level. How did they work again? For saving monsters or for slaying monsters. Only one purpose. So you just get these for doing stuff and the DM gives them to you, essentially.
Yep, exactly.
You can buy attribute points with them. And to do that, let's say here, look at our friend here. Gremlin has managed to accumulate 212 AP. She decides this would be a good time to bring up her dex by 1 point. She tells his game master that she would want to do that. And since her dex is 20, it costs 200 points to go to 21. Simple. And here you can see you would like then need 4,000 points or something to get to level 30 of dex. More than that, actually. Like more like 5,000. And then you would have a level up. So, monster level, this example is very over the top. Because usually your monster level will be 2, 3, maybe 4. And here we see weapons. Pro tip, get a magic staff if you're a magic user and get a wand. Wands don't add damage. You can fight with them. Here's armor, here's gold. Game's not really concerned with how your character gets starting gold or anything. The DM is just probably going to give you items. And then you go from there. And here we see light bows, 3d6 damage. Like, bows are pretty legit. Bows are pretty fucking legit weapons.
Yep.
Heavy bow is 5, and throw size here, like, see, if you always hit with them, like, you kind of want, if you're a gremlin, you use a fucking bow. Holy shit, yeah. You always hit.
That's straightforward.
And then 3 to 5 dice of damage can totally take out a human. Humans have like 3d6 con. It's not that much. That's very little, actually, because you're usually going to fight. Like, if you think about it in the system, if you have 2 trolls and a gremlin in a party, to challenge them, you're going to have to send 6, 7, 8 humans.
Yep.
So taking one down in over 2 turns or something, that's really not bad. Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the min-max in this, so we don't have to be too concerned with. But it is interesting that again, this is just directly your combat roll. Otherwise, you're only at your base stat. So these are very important. And I find it a bit reductive that your whole thing is just reduced to your weapon. But again, it's a very simple system and it works for what it is.
Yep, it works. And that's a big part of all of this that we keep coming back to, is all of this works really well.
Yeah.
We've compared other simple systems and they always have some sort of major hang up, and this one now doesn't. Like, okay, let's compare it to Numenera for 2 seconds. Numenera, what's the hang up? Right away, the difficulty scales from 1 to 10. That's cool. Oh, you have to multiply it by 3 to get the target number. Okay, cool. What do I add to the roll? You don't. What? I don't? You spend stuff to lower the difficulty, and also there are other things that automatically lower the difficulty, and then this and that and the other thing. Already it's too complicated for me. Thanks. I'm done.
Yes, it's true.
That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Yep.
And this doesn't do that. It just goes for it.
Like in this, you can totally see them like, oh, my orc has a club and we find an axe. I want the axe. It's 26 more attack. Give it to me. Like, I can see this, you starting with shitty weapons and then going better over time, and that's nice. I do love that the details are always the inches or the arrows, and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Who cares what the inches are? We aren't on a combat map. Ah, man. And then a very short general supplies list. What is this again? A word about weapon use. Anything goes. Monsters use anything but their own natural equipment and abilities. Teeth, claws, and horns are chief natural weapons. So this is immediately contradicted by the races, because trolls, for example, I believe don't have natural weapons at all.
No, no.
Yeah, they have to. Like, the only starting race that actually gets natural weapons is the Serpent Man. And this is another one where I feel like, okay, this was maybe copy pasted out of another book or something, because this page it goes even weirder. Now we arrive at the weird, believe you me. Why? Because we go each body part weapon gets monster's creature strength modifier, blah blah blah. So if you lop off a body part from a monster, then you take that monster strength, divide it by 10 or 5. Multiplier of may use. Oh yeah, it depends on the stats thing. So this is there's later on there's stats, monster stats. Let's look at that real quick. Let's find the troll here. Troll, flesh, troll, stone. This is a flesh troll. Has a ×3 strength. So this is 3d6 times 3 in this case. This is for NPC monsters.
Yep.
So the arm of a flesh of a troll would do 3d6 damage if used as a weapon. Also, interestingly, the charisma. What's the wisdom? No, it's the wisdom. Sorry. Wait, they do have X3. Oh my god, it's so weird. Why do they have it? I don't understand. I don't understand why. Also, what does this mean? Terror, fear. Or is it because fear factor does just a dragon have a really high?
Probably.
Balrog is 5. Balrog, by the way, can you imagine what it might be? But yeah, so this is how monsters work. We're gonna look at this for a second. They have descriptions as well, but as essentially, centaur, 3 times strength, 3 times con, 1 times dex, 2 times speed, 1 times charisma, 1 times IQ, 1 times, and 3 times the weight of a human. Or 3 times, like, multiplied by 3, whatever, height 1.5, and they have archery. Okay, cool. That's your centaur. Like, this is a whole stat block. Pretty nice, pretty quick. And if you just want to take 10, it's 30, 30, 10, 20, 10, 10, 10, 10, 30.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes for weight doesn't make sense. Who cares, though? For about the weight, usually. And
doesn't matter.
1.5, so 8 feet instead of 6 or 5, whatever. Like, this is very quick to make any monster. Very, very fast, actually. And I like it. Because I have several pages of that here. There's enough here. I have 161 monsters. It's not quite the monster manual from D&D, but we have crammed them into very few pages, and still kind of given me a better overview of what the monster can do than D&D does with the new book. Holy shit.
It does, yeah.
Holy
and the thing
shit.
is, they'll stand out from each other more because each has one special power that it lists.
Yeah. And then if you go, again, higher, there's explanations. They are not very long.
Not long.
But they exist. Lamia. Lamias are actually the female form of the Nagas. Special ability hypnosis. Their special ability is to hypnotize and dominate mind other humanoid creatures. This is done by making opposed saving rolls in IQ at successively high levels until either the Lamia or the target fails one. While the mental struggle is going on, the target cannot engage in physical combat. Rarity uncommon. So what will happen here? The special ability is explained, like sometimes very quickly. Inherent flight ability. Wow, yeah, I get it. Or sometimes they explain what it actually does in a little more detail. And that's again, there's a monster manual for this game, Monster Compendium, which is its own book, which assumedly goes into way more detail about these monsters. Is there a mermaid? That's a good question. These are not necessarily sorted by, I would assume humanoid monster, right? Don't see it here. Demons, demon monsters, non-humanoid monsters, more non-humanoid monsters. I don't think there's a mermaid in this core book. I'm sorry, Waggles. Merperson.
Merperson. Merperson. Tips Fedora.
Merperson. Mer people have two forms and may switch between them at will. One form looks perfectly human and can pass for human, except for the gills visible at the neck or on hand. The other form is the upper torso of human and the lower torso of a tail of a large fish. They have them! They just went gender neutral.
My God.
Yeah, they do have neck. Okay, neck gills. Okay, I agree. They have neck gills and they don't have torso gills. Come on, it's so close. They almost. This is millions of times better than most books do. Yeah. It is very good. Yeah. This is their more common form, and they prefer to live and do all things underwater. Yeah, yeah. See, they even nailed it. This is a very concise description. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We went over monsters now. We did it. It is important to note that these monsters, depending, can be very crazy. Like, we have stuff. I want to point out specifically where is it? The Zim. It's going to be important in a minute, believe you me. 10 times strength, 5 times con, 15 times dex. Yep. 15 times dex. So 150 and 150.
Yeah.
So this is every point above 12 gives you a combat bonus, right?
Correct.
So this is 88. This is 138. Speed times 1, so speed doesn't give anything. Luck times 75 also gives nothing. So this guy has like 200 combat bonus. If you stat him out. So yeah, you're not gonna fight this guy.
No, you're not.
And why is this important? Well, let's go back to the page we were at. Yeah, over almost every monster. Then it talks about like firearms for some reason. Talks about like black powder and the Chinese had it in 900s. Like this is very weird. This is like someone suddenly talking about the special interest out of nowhere.
Yeah. It feels like it, yeah.
And then also this is gonna get itself contradicted later. I hope I remember. Okay, so the first humans to arrive were the Egyptos. Which yeah, okay. They have these weapons, which go for power staff for up to 6, which is a magic staff, not pictured here. They have a minimum strength requirement and a minimum dex requirement, and some of them have a range. Battle speed can throw, a short bow you can shoot with. Cool. They talk about them using, like, when they arrive, they use bronze weapons, but now they use iron weapons. They have some armor as well. And then the Zim arrive, and you're like, oh yeah. And then The Egyptos people first arrived in the Zim had a flourishing decentralized planet-wide civilization that was still in the Stone Age. They had just discovered writing and a very limited cuneiform style of transmitting information. It mostly consisted of straight lines and simple pictographs. They had not discovered metals or mining and had very little use for fire on their mostly tropical planet. They seldom fought with each other. They had leaders, but no kings, no hereditary nobility, there were no blah, blah. Weapons they had were mostly designed for hunting, using their own hands and feet. They were already formidable fighters. All of their manufactured weapons were made of stone, blah, 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 blah. Egyptos with their late Bronze Age, early Iron Age weaponry culture considered them to be monsters and had no compunction about conquering and killing them. The humans had superior weapons, warlike skills, organization, and the magic of their god to aid them. The Zim had superior numbers, superior natural strength, and the ability to regenerate rapidly from wounds that would cripple or kill humans. The wars lasted for centuries. The humans almost always won, but they took plenty of casualties along the way. Because of human magic, the Zim lost the fight most of the time, but they learned from their oppressors and in time learned to use superior weapons of the Egypto people. Currently, players may use Egypto's weapons with Zim characters. The Zim also have their own weapons that most humans would not be able to use. Zim weapons are bigger, heavier, and clumsier than normal human weapons. The fall of the moon Loomis, the Zim have learned how to enhance their weapons with the power of magics of the crystals. The chart, so we are kind of, this is already like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is the moon Loomis? What do you mean magical crystals? Can we, what? But more importantly, way more importantly, I want to point out the weapons. Flint knife, 20 dice. Quartz knife, 22 dice. Obsidian knife, 24 dice. Bone needle, 10 dice. Tree branch, 20. Oh, sorry, this is the, when charged with crystal energy. So, okay, 7 dice when not charged. 10, 12, 5, 20, 25, 30, 33, 35. Strength requirement 50, 60, 100, 120, blah, blah. So, could you have mentioned that these guys are essentially giants? Please?
Oh, we could have, yeah.
Or Goku? Well, not Goku, what's his name? Piccolo from like fucking Dragon Ball.
I mean, look at their face.
Yeah. Like, how do these guys lose to? They have superior numbers. Like, one of these guys, just armed with a knife, has 7 dice of attack. The normal soldier gets, with a Kopesh, gets 3. And they have more of these guys and of these guys, and these guys also have 10 times strength. How did they lose? What happened? It's not possible.
What happened to you?
The magic must have been real strong. Like, they don't mention that these guys have the strength of 10 people. Whoa, Elidon. Hello, thank you for the raids. Hi, Raiders.
Welcome, Raiders.
We are reviewing Monsters, folks, with tabletop game. Thank you for the raid again. Yeah, that's a big raid. I hope you people enjoy tabletop games. We are looking at Monsters, and it's essentially a very simple game where we we just found a big contradiction in it, where they say these people were beaten by humans, but these people are 10 times as strong and 5 times as constitution is 15 times as fast. My audio is very low? What? My audio is normal. Really? Wait. Really? Wait. It seems normal to me. It's a bit low. Dials up microphone by 1 notch. I don't know. It's maxed for me. Let me see. My mic is also maxed on this end. Can I boost this in OBS? Oh. Thank you. Ein Pfannkuchen for the follow. Sorry.
All good.
Filters, properties. No, I can't even turn it up more. I can only turn the dial on my just muted it. That was probably wrong. Audio seems good for you. Maybe I'm just not super loud in general. I don't know. Oh my god. Well, God, it's just we are 90 minutes into this. I don't know if I can start over for everyone. What's this doc? I'm gonna go to the top and give a real quick explanation again. So this is Monsters, an RPG from there's a long history of the first edition of this came out in 1975. This is the version from last year. Though, how you play it is very simple. You make your character, which is just eight stats that you have. There's a character. Is Drelexa, the Serpent Man. It's a level 2 male, 6'2", weight 195, age 17, no hair, $60. Has 22 strength, 22 con, 12 dex, 20 speed, 19 luck, 18 IQ, 7 wizard power, and 5 charisma. Has combat adds, which you every point over 12 in these 4 stats gives you a combat add of 25. If this guy wants to attack another guy, would use one of his weapons and roll, like, let's say 4d6 here and add 25 from his combat adds. And that's the basic system. And
very straightforward.
That's all. And otherwise you roll against the target number with 2d6 plus your attribute against like a 20 or something to do something else. It is basic, but it works. But we are now getting to the part of this book that really where I'm really like, man, this is falling apart, where they talk about the history, because it feels like they omit a lot.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
Yeah, because we are getting to the point that I love the most in this book, where they explain, demons, they want to dominate stuff, but personally dominate stuff. They aren't going to destroy the world, they just want to rule it, which makes sense to me.
Yep.
That's cool. And then they use, like, they can enchant weapons with demonic curses, and then they tell you 20 of those. And as you might notice here, already 20. It's the first time you roll a d20 in this. It's going to happen a few more times, but usually you roll d6s only. On a 1, increase damage of the weapon. On a 2, increase damage of the weapon again, but differently. But it costs the 1. Each time the weapon is used, roll 2d6 and add that number of total weapon damage. Doubles roll over. Doubles always roll over, Darrow. So this one scales forever. Like it's gonna be each time. Like it starts at normal weapon damage, and then it adds 2d6 for the next attack, 2d6 for the next attack, ad infinitum. But these weapons also fall apart after 66 days and become normal, so who cares? The next one, all damage rolled by this weapon is spite damage. So it goes past the normal rules and just hits every time. This one assesses a d20 extra damage from its Hellfire. Use the wielders highest attribute with 2d6 and add that total to spite damage to the opponent. Attribute loss is permanent. Mm-hmm. Attribute goes to 0. The wielder dies on the spot. So attribute drain is really bad. And this is the first instance we see of, wait, you can just permanently use attribute points? Yeah, a lot of magic effects in this will just make your character unplayable. Which I'm like, why? But anyway, what you also notice, like as we go down this list, I'm not going to go through all of them. At 11, I just forgot to name the effect. Like, hello?
They just gave up.
In some cases, it's even the Infernal Beauty. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it isn't just put in, like they just didn't finish formatting this table and just put it in the book, which maybe don't do that when you sell something for money.
Yeah, they just gave up because you can see with the spacing also after each effect. Yeah, they intended to put a word there to describe the effect, but they did.
It's also like inconsistent with itself, like increased damage, like. So these aren't curses, but these are ? And then it's effect. But here they always name it, and here they don't. And here they don't name the curse. So it's like this is where they gave up on 10. Like they wrote the effects all out and then didn't reformat. Which okay. Next we get to advanced weaponry on Zimrala, which is the world we are on. We have a random picture of Cthulhu attacking from the pyramids with a spaceman.
Yep. That's the energy we're going for here, folks. That's another reason why I wanted to mention this designer at the very start, was the fact that he does this all the time. And anybody who's played in one of my tabletop games realizes, oh, Trake likes to do this too. Maybe that's why Trake is a fan of this.
Yeah. So, like, I'm a fan of this too, but this book has problems. So, the dwarves, Gristlegrim, ancient god of the dwarves, came to Zimrala from space in his gigantic stone cube, a construction that serves him as a home base, an interstellar spaceship, not a rocket. He prepares it with magic. And an interdimensional mobile fortress. It is one of those things that is larger on the inside than outside. Last survivor of the dying universe, Gristlegrim came to Troll World early in its history. So Troll World, or the other name, they use it interchangeably. Upon his arrival on this magic-rich world, he created a race of dwarf followers. He carved them from stone and gave them life, and then blah blah blah. So yeah, a dwarf just flew in on his spaceship randomly, and now there are dwarfs here, I suppose. We can look at dwarf stats later, but they have like the Dork Hammer. Dork is a dwarven word for any enemy creature, generally larger than dwarfs. Could be humans, trolls, or dragons. Strength requirement 24, dex requirement 16, damage 10d6. Not for sale. The dwarf bow, same thing. It's just it's a cool crossbow. Does 12d6 damage. It's 28 strength. They have 14 dex. And the poison plate, which is 34 strength, 15 dex, and 56 in a punch. And it will poison you. And then unless you take an anti-poison before the poison reaches your heart, you probably die. 10 times 1d6 poison damage that takes effect 1d6 combat turns later. When the infected blood gets back to the heart, anti-venom, natural or magical, can neutralize this effect if taken before the poison reaches the heart. Does it ever say how much armor it has? Strongest plate armor can bounce any amount of damage less than 30 hits before taking damage.
Yeah, so, it tells you 30, yeah.
Yeah. Should have maybe put that here.
Should have done that to begin with.
I agree, Waggles. I also like them. So that's the whole section about dwarves. Now we are done about talking about dwarves.
So I just have to ask this question.
Yeah.
What other game setting or system does this feel like with this dwarf description?
I don't know what you're getting at.
Feels like Rifts. By the way,
yeah, true.
And they fly in space, and they have these 3 cool things, and then that's the end of the section.
You're so right, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it feels very Rifts. Like, here's the Splugorth. They're really cool. They have these slavers that have blind warrior women. Yeah. Okay, that's the end of the section.
Yes. But the real craziness starts now because we have gun-equipped humans.
Mm-hmm.
So, apparently the portals to Zimrala are open to anywhere in time and space, and chiefly to places where human beings and other human-like carbon-based life could exist. If they opened to the heart of the star, the atmosphere of a gas giant, or the vacuum of space, the planet would be destroyed. And this is like, again, just don't tell me that, please. Another time, just tell me in this gun-equipped human section that there are portals that go anywhere.
Yep.
This is so random. And then they spend time to explain what guns are. That there are curators on the moon that don't like if you have guns, so they make them inert after 3 days. but only after 3 days. So you can use them, but after a while they go kaput.
Yeah,
it's your ammo that goes actually. It's made inert. Like, it's so weird.
it is very weird.
And then there's a whole thing about like caliber and shit. And this like we explains what a caliber is and how big it is. And then caliber doesn't matter though, as we will see. And then you get pistol small, pistol medium, pistol large, rifle small, medium, large, assault small, medium, large. What? So you need a strength rating to use these. You need a dex rating to use these, which is very stupid because dex 10 to use a pistol or rifle 12. Are you telling me 2/3 of humanity can't use a rifle? No. I'm sorry, but that's dumb. And then you have a range where you have a saving roll. And you roll a D100. What? Like, it's so suddenly goes off the rails completely.
Goes so far off the rails. Yeah.
So let's try to go through it though. So guns can be designed to shoot bullets of any desired or convenient size. That size is known as the caliber. Caliber can cover a nearly infinite range of sizes and weights. Force equals mass times acceleration. Force is what does the damage when the bullet hits most of the time. Almost any bullet can kill almost any living being if it strikes the right spot and does enough damage. Therefore, it doesn't really make sense to describe guns in terms of how much damage they can do with dice. Any weapon that strikes the right parts can kill you instantly. So any weapon follows this logic, not just bullets, my friend. I'm sorry, but this train of thought doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, a range of values from 1 to X should describe the lethality of being hit with any bullet. Let us say that 1 is the absolute minimum amount of damage any bullet can do, and 100 is enough to cause maximum damage. Constitution is the measure of how much damage a living being can take before dying. When a bullet strikes a target, let's roll 1d100 to see how much damage it does. This is the worst logic ever.
It's terrible.
So basically what this says is caliber actually just doesn't matter. We just talk about caliber for a little bit, but then it doesn't matter because any bullet does a D100 damage. Any bullet. Any bullet. Again.
Yeah. This is the opposite of the tactical simulationism that I'm used to. Total opposite of it.
We can determine the power of guns by their size and the size of bullets they shoot. To keep things simple, I will divide all guns into 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. Small will have a multiplier of 1, medium will have a multiplier of 3, and large will multiplier of 5. Anything with a caliber of blah 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 will be considered that. Okay, who cares? The bullets aren't meant to travel very far, and that means they don't need great exit velocities compared to for pistols. Rifles are designed to blah blah blah. So greater caliber and better location increase damage. And these factors in mind, we can describe how much damage a bullet will do to a target used in combat. So actually, we multiply the D100 by 5 for the pistol, or 7 for the rifle, or 10 for the assault. A single bullet from an assault rifle does a D1000 damage, or 10 D100.
Yep.
Let's go quickly back to our stats screen. Find the dragon real quick. Oh, Mothman. Awesome. This is not...
Yeah, you keep finding things in there that are just ooh.
Wait, this is on this. Oh, these are the stats. Demons. Monster modified. Wait, what? I thought there were dragons in here. Non-humanoid. Okay. So dragon has a con times 50. So we expect the dragon to have 500 hit points.
Yeah.
On average. Could have 1,800. Could have 300. So an assault rifle bullet kills a average dragon with 2 shots. An assault rifle.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems balanced. That seems balanced.
Really balanced.
Yeah.
Those damn humans with guns.
Yeah.
I like that. That's basically like the header for a race: humans with guns.
Yes. Here we are. So then, how do we not die? Is then the question. Well, saving roll.
Yeah, saving roll.
Which, how does that work? Well, it's X1, X3, and miss, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But what does X1 mean and X3 mean? Is it difficulty? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yep.
But why does it get harder to dodge at longer ranges? It shouldn't.
No.
So is it actually difficulty?
Yeah, that's the saving roll. Yeah, the difficulty is the saving roll.
Yeah, but why is it harder to dodge at longer ranges?
Actually, it isn't. If you look at gun factors, it tells you it's actually easier.
What?
Under targets, size small, size medium. Wait, actually, that's sizes. That's not range.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like.
That's a really good question. Wow.
Yeah, we are about where I was. Wait for taking roll if the target is struck by the bullet. SR, saving roll. So these rules make no sense. I'm sorry.
No, they don't make any sense.
No. Moving slowly, saving roll times 2. No velocity change. Moving quickly, saving roll times 4. Wait. Is it meant as... Okay, I might have made it workable, but this is like moon logic. Yeah. So
still some moon logic here.
If I roll my saving roll, right? My dex roll would probably be, or maybe speed. Let's say dex. Who cares? Then I would roll 3d6 plus my dex. Let's say my dex is 10. So I would roll like a 20. And then they roll a d100. Does it subtract from the damage then? Because then saving roll times 1 at close range makes sense. Times 3 at medium range means like if I roll a 20, I subtract 60 from the damage.
Yeah.
That would work. Is it what they mean? I don't know. Also, pistol large is always easy to dodge, I guess. This feels like an oversight.
It does. Oh, okay. So they list pistol 3 times.
Yeah.
And then close it's times 1, medium times... Oh, okay. I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Is the X actually referred to like the amount of damage that gets reduced, not the difficulty?
But you reduce by times 3?
Yeah.
So divide by 3.
Yeah, basically.
Well, my logic is that you roll a saving roll and then you reduce the D100 roll by the saving roll.
Yeah, you multiply the saving roll by 3 and then reduce the damage, yeah.
Yeah. So pistol large is really terrible then. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So if you roll 22 for your saving roll at medium range for a small pistol, you reduce 66 from the roll.
Yeah, so you would only take almost 34 damage.
Okay, now this is starting to make sense. Yeah, it takes a moment and then it makes sense actually.
Yeah, but here's where I'm at with this. For obvious reasons, right? This isn't explained ever. This is us arriving at this shit. This is not the book telling you how it works.
Nope.
Like this section is very random.
It's very random, yeah.
It also
there's a section that's quite like this at all either.
Yeah. It's just like they made up a completely different system for guns, which you didn't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Next, we talk about the curators. This book is so fucking random. Oh yeah, also there's the sides about grenades and dynamite, which I'm not going to go over because it's going to melt my brain. The curators are humans from the future who are looking over this place because they really like it. And they have some stunners and freezers and disruptors that will incapacitate you but not kill you because they're observers, guys. Also someone's second level OC.
Yep, completely.
And their guns are all non-lethal because, again, they're observers. But then there's also advanced human weapons like lasers and shit, which also have rules for some reason. Which I like. What?
Yep. You get where we're going with this. You're supposed to be monsters that help defeat an intergalactic invasion by humans. Like, that's what we're going here. That's how crazy we're going. Because that's the only assumption that I can make is that humans will visit from outer space and you have to kill them.
Like what I find amazing about this, right, is a game like D&D will tell you who lives in the third house on the right in Boogie Street in whatever town. Because someone wrote that down 25 years ago in an adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
This game will be like, but what if humans from the future invade the planet and give you the page of rules for laser guns? A page of rules, by the way, that I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's okay. Like, the priorities here are crazy. Like, the jolt gun will just do damage to you, but will not kill you. It will just knock you out, and the laser will do the D100 thing. Like, okay, wait, let's read this, because this goes even crazier. Lasers do heat damage only. Armor will take damage from a laser, but may protect the wearer. The damage for any laser weapon by the game master... Damage for any laser weapon by the game master on a scale of 1 to 100. Literally just a nonsense sentence.
It's such a nonsense sentence.
A typical value would be 20, as that would be enough to kill or seriously injure any normal man. So you just set the damage. A monster hunting weapon would have a typical damage value of 100. So you just set... It's the same rules as here, but it's a set... damage? Question mark? Or you can't dodge them because they're lasers and hit instantly. I don't know. Wait, L3 dex. Oh, you're making level 3 dex save to not get hit. Why would you not just make your lasers work like your normal guns?
Yeah.
Did the dwarven crossbow include rules on how to dodge it? You can shoot more than one thing at a time. No, but this would follow the normal rule of it hits, right? Because that's
the normal
rules that we looked initially, where it says range weapons just hit unless you're at long range or something. But this thing is crazy lethal. Anyway, monster magic. Like the rule, this feels like a very grab baggy book, which doesn't have time for any fluff. It's just gonna give you the next page, and the next page gives you the next like random thing immediately. Like it needed more stuff. It needed more fucking explanation for why there's laser guns and how to make them work in the game. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just true. Monster magic now. So spells have a few things. Spells require 3 things in order to cast: a minimum IQ level, a minimum dex level, minimum supply of magical energy, whether by creme, mana, moon crystal radiation, or some other magical mystical energy. Like we haven't mentioned yet what creme is, that mana exists, or what moon crystals are. But moon crystals have been mentioned before, at least.
They have been, yeah. So
good job. On Simera, new spells can be invented by skilled magic users who has rules for inventing spells. We're not going to go over them. Let's look at the first spell and spot the issue. Level 1, amazing accuracy. Level 1, costs 4 whiz or 2 dex. Dex used for this spell does not regenerate with time and is a permanent loss. Duration until the missile hits the target or is intercepted in some fashion. Range to cast 100 feet and line of sight. Range of effect not available. Power per level, 2 times range of the possible shot per level. What? Okay, whatever. Origin of spell, elf magic. So essentially you make it so that the spell will work on any projectile and must be triggered just as the missile is released. Most commonly used in archery, it is useful in both hunting and combat. Simply put, the missile will not miss its intended target, even if the original aim was inaccurate or offline. Elves have this timing thing done very well, but non-elves must make a second level strength SR or dex. Second level SR on dex. So a saving roll on dex at difficulty 25. To be sure to launch the missile at the exact moment when they cast the spell. If they fail the saving throw, they must take the dex penalty and lose 2 dex permanently. Crazy. So firstly, the rule is that they always hit anyway, so who cares? Like, what? The only use this has is that you can now always hit also at long range. Secondly, there's permanent dex loss in this game. Which is not great.
Nope.
Can make your character unplayable very quickly by doing this, even a few times. Because any attribute hitting 0, I think, means you die. It says that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it means.
So yeah, this is
also another thing. It also means that if you keep doing this and your dex goes below 10, you can't cast spells anymore. Because if you look at the top of the section, it requires a minimum of 10 points in both IQ and dex.
Yep, true. So you can't completely ruin your character, but you can make yourself unable to cast spells.
Which is so stupid. Oh my gosh. This is really dumb.
Yes. Again, like, the base rule is that your bow hits. So what is this for? There's a bunch of more spells here. Like, a lot of spells, actually. I'm kind of cool with how many there are. But there's a lot of stuff like Find a Curse, level 1, costs 1 strength permanent loss. Detects an enchantment on any object. The caster must touch the object in question to say trigger word. If the item touches magical or is enchanted in any way, the caster will feel a sharp jab of pain when he touches the object, and more intense the pain, the higher the level of the magic involved. If there's no magic, there's no pain, but the strength is still lost. This is your fucking... You what? If your character has 10 strength, it costs 100 points to raise that by 1. 100 XP. Insanity. Some of these spells are certainly something. Yes, they are. The names I like. Fairy fast food makes food out of leaves, and you lose con if you eat it every day. It's the only thing, because there's very little nutrition in it. Die Demon Die does damage to demons. Get out of here. You run away really fast, I think. Oh no, you combines the total int, luck, and charisma from cast to fill the foe with uncontrollable terror. It would drive away a target creature with a lower MR or total int. Blah, blah, blah. If the spell fails, the target creature will chase and attack the caster in the exclusion of all other kinds. So, fight or flight spell. These spells are very D&D brand suddenly. This is the first time I see very D&D brand things. I would have enjoyed a generalized spell system. Because, like, okay, here's the thing, right? Thank you. The book will not say at any point what spells you know and if you know any of them or all of them. So that's down to the DM, I suppose. Many of these will cost you permanent attribute points, which is not great. And again, they feel very D&D-esque. This game would have been well served by having a magic system that is more generic, in my opinion.
Yep, I actually agree with that. The biggest problem with this is that, okay, so when you have your attribute also be your pool of points that go up or down, you run inevitably into the problem of, oh my goodness, my wizardry is really low now. I have to spend points to raise it again, right?
Oh,
because I don't have a thing that tells me immediately that I can recover it, right?
Yeah, your whiz would recover. Your whiz is like your con. But the game also doesn't ever tell you how quickly you heal from wounds either.
Exactly. That's the main part of my point. Like, if I knew that information heading into this section, then I would be like, okay, I can confidently say I can bust out a few spells and then recover, right? But I don't know that information.
Mm-hmm.
So, as somebody who's just walking into this, they keep saying permanent loss for speed, but not for wizardry. So, when do I get it back?
Mm-hmm.
How often do I get it back? How much do I get it back?
Don't worry about it. Also, this is where we learn that the combat turn is 2 minutes.
Yep.
We don't learn it here, though.
Yep.
It's the same. Oh, man. This book. Boom Bomb. Small rock.
Feet?
What?
Turtle feet.
Yeah, turtle feet. Target slows down by half. For 1 day.
One whole day.
Every action of target takes twice as long to complete. In combat, the player may take 1 combat action every second. And so this is the first level. What do levels even mean, though? Because it just means we need 12 and 11 now to cast level 2 spells. Doesn't really say. Again, we don't get to know if we get spells or when we get spells or which spells we have. We just know they exist.
Yep. Just know they exist.
We go quite high. Like 37 IQ and 27 dex to cast level 7 spells.
Uh-huh.
And that's the highest spells. There's not that many of them.
Yeah, Boulder Barrier, Out of Sight, and Spirit Walk. Wow. Huh. Yeah, these really sound like the crowning achievement of wizardry.
Well, I mean, Out of Sight is pretty good. The spell makes the target creature or object permanently invisible forever. It does not disguise sound, scent, solidity, or shadow. Right? But if it's invisible, it wouldn't cast a shadow.
Oh.
Well, I guess, okay, that's the way it's magic. It doesn't have to make sense. Okay, I'm not... And again, there isn't a section of how much spells do I have. Like, if I just roll really well, if I roll... Because even during character creation, if you roll, like, if all your dice show the same number, you roll again and add up. So I could, if I roll lucky on IQ, have a gremlin level 1 able to technically cast this level 7 spell. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't have 40 whiz probably, but it's not like as impossible as you might think. There is a chance in this. Even let's just say 30-20 for level 6 spells, right? We could have Dragonhide Armor, which is armor equal to 10 times its con attribute. That's fucking insane as well. What? Okay, they must have a dragon scale. Okay, that's how we limit that. But layer of glittering scale equal to 10 times its con attribute? What? That's 100 armor. If I have basic con. That's insane. That means you can't take damage in a normal fight. Ever.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What? I guess someone has to dispel that. Is there dispel magic? Probably somewhere in this, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't read all of these, but I'm now interested. Because that seems a bit good. That seems like a lot of armor. Dominate bolt. Swiftly go. That'll teach you. Wicked one. So it's the base weapon dice roll for blunt weapons. Beast better lucky. Cure poison, cures curses foil, double dash, extra effort, 20 persuasion goop, hawk body, heal him, hollow tree eye fly, Knowledge is power, lost and found, mind bomb, need for speed. Negate magic. Here it is. Here it is. So it's a 3rd level spell.
Huh. That sounds familiar.
Power per level. For a whiz cannot be cast using MCR and the crystal must come from the whiz attribute or from strength. So, wait, or from strength? What do you mean from strength? What is that supposed to mean? It doesn't mention the strength cost. What? Increase the power of negation up to the level of the spell. Okay. Description: negates, neutralizes, and dispels any magic of the same level or lower currently affecting the target. There's no effect on magic of higher level than the negate magic spell. So, how do we power up a spell? Oh, doesn't tell us. Hey, Abyss. Like, this is another one. Power up per level. Many spells have this. At no point does it explain how that works. Do I pay more points? Do I must I do a higher saving, higher roll? Must my attributes be higher? No one knows. It isn't in this book. Like, it is amazing how quickly this falls apart when you go past the basics. Anyway, enough about spells, because I think I've driven my point home there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We come back to monsters in detail, where we had the worm. Like, this is cool. I like this section.
And by the way, that spell section is page 29. Like, we get there very quickly.
Yep.
In this game.
Yep. It is worth pointing out that, for example, like we've seen the trolls, they have like different rules for NPCs than for PCs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they did that. I think it's just like they wanted to roll stats a bit differently for players to make sure a certain power level exists.
Yep.
But even here, like Uruk 1.15, like that sucks a little bit. That's a bit bad. Because what is 15% more from? So instead of 10, I would have 11 and a half.
Yeah,
or 12, I guess. It's a bit like, it's still fast, but it's a bit clunky to do. It fits this table. It fits all in this neat little table, though, so that's nice. I still like this list because this is again very quick reference. Then we go to like the second half of this, where we have demon monsters, and then they start just giving us MR rating.
Yep.
Which is like the way of giving you the very simple MR of anything. Like, are you supposed to even fight these guys really? Because you are a monster too, right?
Oh, well, I can explain that immediately. Sometimes they'll be on your team, and you need the thing to count for when you all fight the same guys.
Yeah, and then you'll find out that very quickly. I have a demon dragon on my team, 7,000 MR. I'm gonna go home. I don't contribute to this fight anyway. Also, you have to roll 701 d6, guys.
Yep. Like,
for
people
the demon
complain
dragon.
about Shadowrun.
Yeah.
They got nothing on this.
Like, some of these monsters are a bit silly, and you honestly, like, why are they here? Because, like, again, like the characters with 46 plus 4, Darrow, is in the same list as a Amit with 100 monster rating, 11d6. Like, okay, that's fine. But then we have this demon monsters list, which is insane. And then if you scroll around a bit more, there's also like, is dragon in this? No, dragon actually is statted, right? Yeah. Blue Bolt Dragon 500, 51d6 plus 250. Like, that's more d6 than I ever had in Shadowrun, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that is 100% for sure.
Don't carry 7 dice with you. I do not, Chief. I'm sorry. Like, dare I say that we are off the rails in a big way now at this point? Like, we have very quickly jumped off them as we like go through this book.
Oh yeah, the shark has been jumped because
Yeah.
the whole inception of this is let's go play some monsters and let's have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
But immediately you don't have a frame of reference as soon as you see this table.
Yeah.
Whatever frame of reference you had before this point, it's out the window now because you're like, oh, I'm in a world with something like this. I'm in a world with the Quetzals, which vary very wildly from 10 to 1,000. What?
I think it's a swarm, right? In that case, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still you don't know that by looking at this table. You have to go then to the page to look at it.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of that here of the scale. Like,
actually, it's below 69.
There is quite a bit of no. Trust me, guys, it's fine with writing all of the numbers here.
Page number is also wrong.
Yeah. There you go.
Were they described at all? Let's find out. Quetzal.
It should be around Quicksilver, which was down below.
Yeah, but no. What do you mean?
Whoa, go back up.
What?
You went past it again. There's a Quicksilver entry.
So
the Quetzal should be right next to it.
There's a K.
Oh, it's a K. Thank you. Sorry, my brain.
And with a K, we don't have H, A, H, L. So no
Quetzal.
So
no Quetzal run for you.
So what's this? Are they in the monster book? They do mention the monster book. So maybe they're just in there. Oh yeah, here. Okay, so they give you the monster page, book page. Okay, fine. I don't like that this is in here then, though, because we don't have this book, and I assume that book does include this list too. So why is it here? You get me? Like, and then put your own monsters, but it's just literally the fucking monster number. That's the only thing you do. There won't be a page for this because you don't have. It's not in the monster book, guys. What's the point? This is right, Dave. MR 100, so 10 d6 plus 10 plus 50. Like what? Also, they are all NPC GM runs, so why is that even a playability status listing? None of these you can play. You can play all of the ones that are statted. Technically, that gives you. It says you can. It says there's rules to do it, but it never gives you those rules either. By the way, so
rules, yeah. That's a huge part of this. Also, is like there are pieces missing, and the pieces that are missing are pretty important.
Then we have house rules from Kent and Andre. For some reason, there's house rules in here. What? And they are like rolling up a character with 36 triples at blah blah blah. Okay, we already read this. This is verbatim the same thing. For the sake of fairness, usually decide what species the character is going to be before beginning a roll the dice. One exception is if rules dwarves, which are like, okay, so if I'm rolling shit, I play a dwarf because they have ×2 strength. Could play a troll then, man. It's ×3. What? Like this whole page is just. It feels like it's from like a sign or something and put in here. You can break up combat into smaller combats, which is probably a good thing, oftentimes cooler. And like if you have a duel within a combat, for example, that's a good rule. So they explain stunting again for some reason. Like, you already had stunting, guys. They have an endurance rule, which is basically if you fight for a long time, you're going to get tired. Which... And then spite damage. We pointed out that both sides might have spite damage if you want to. Or if both sides are monsters, technically that would be the case. How would it go? And usually the losing side does spite damage, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think, also the intention of the original spite damage. Like, if you lose, the other side can do a little bit of damage to you. But in this, they say both sides might take spite damage, which they say is faster, but I don't see how it's faster because it's the same thing either way. You've already done the math to attack with. Like, to the many dice problem. Oh, to tell me when monster riding turn out, we don't have 31 dice to roll. Also, it can be fun. So you just 10 times it. Yeah, makes sense. It would still be many dice though.
Oh yeah.
And then we get a very quick overview of Zimrala. And by very quick, I mean blink and you miss it, because it's literally just this Zimrala locations. Northern Zimrala, the Arkrok, surrounded by the Tigrian Isles. Little is known of the interior of this larger island. And then that's 2 pages of that, and then it's over. You have not explained me the world, guys. I'm sorry. Yes, Sonnet, what is it?
Uh-oh, he has to bring it up again.
Yeah, I'm curious what he wants to bring up. Okay, 1 sec.
Oh, okay, 1 sec. Okay, cool.
Yeah, little is known, but this is the fucking book that was supposed to tell me more, huh? It's the fucking...
It's supposed to tell me enough to get going.
Also, the islands aren't even like August Island, Bug Island. Is Bug Island explained? I would like you to explain Bug Island. Oh my god, they didn't even explain Bug Island.
Yeah, and it seems like a gimme, you know. Bug Island should be easy to explain.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell them about that.
Like, if you're gonna name drop a bunch of stuff and name drop everything, what if you stop? In the second edition, they were still using the troll world of Tunnels and Trolls. With this revised edition, is intended to move the game away its own setting, Zimrala. Well, cool on that, but then why is the setting like explained so badly? Then they explain political powers, who are the Zim, like those are those giants we talked about, who by all rights should still be ruling this planet because they're regenerating 10 times as strong as human mega guys. The Egyptors, humans from Lemuria, which is cool. Zeus and Lamashtu, possibly the deities from the City of the Gods, found their way to Zimrala when Horus and Sekhmet reopened ancient portals to that world. So we have some ghosts. We have Gristlegrim, the dwarf. We have the Tigerians. Did they know? Tigerians? Fierce race of human origin from Earth. They control some large islands of the far northwest of the planet. They readily offer their service to anyone need for mercenary soldiers. Solidly allied with Sekhmet because they see the cat goddess as one avatar of their own creator goddess. Nice. They feel at home on Zimrala because of the many cat-like creatures that already live here. They would love to domesticate the Zesquads and achieve mastery over the skies. They are the most carnivorous of the intelligent species on Zimrala. Also, they have thousands of Tigerian citizens on their island home. They are not numerous enough to threaten any of the more established species of them on Zimrala. Okay, so they maybe would like to. We have moon elves from the moon. We have the Dwan, who are hybrid species of half demon, half dwarf. The demons who came after the Dwan to get them back because they were their slaves. The curators who live on the moon and are future humans, and others. I have a lot of alliances, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm not reading this because now we are done with the setting. I'm sorry, but if this was intended to introduce your own setting, is there a book you want to send me for that too? Because I kind of need it.
Kind of do. Like this is the wrong kind of overview.
Yeah, some location.
This kind of overview that's
Like, I'm sorry, but this is like, how many pages is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages? Not enough. Because now we go to the first sample adventure, which we are going to scroll over because, yeah, thanks, but I don't want to talk about it because this is then really, if you want to play this, I don't want to spoil them. And then we have a second sample adventure, which is like a monster city, which is cool. But I also don't want to talk about it because, again, don't want to spoil things. And this is like a third of the book, as you can see, because we're still like going over the adventure. And then we had the final guidelines, which we talked about initially, where he says it's all guidelines, it's not rules. So, okay, I guess that's the book.
Guidelines all the way down.
Yeah, that's the book then, right?
Yeah.
Here's some copyable things. Here's some character portraits. I do love the Melodorian study, is great.
Mm-hmm.
The Zim, the four-armed lizard guys. Like these guys, again, they should still rule the world by all rights because they're so OP. And then they tell you about the other products that they have. Like, I like this. I guess they do it again with this. They put all their clip art onto the page. It's even in the same. Oh my god, guys, why? Like, I'm sorry, but this looks so cheap. Couldn't you pay for someone to not to make an actual picture? I don't understand. I have to point out now, like, it is quaint if you do it once for your book here. But this is the same clip art. It's just in the middle now. It was here in the other picture. I'm sorry, but that's nah. Okay. Here's your map, which is cool. I like the map. Clearly also what I like about the map like this is that it's like, yeah, this is clearly just one like continent. It's not even the whole world. Just go nuts somewhere else if you want to. Which is that's always nice. Here's the big map you can buy for $1.99. These are quite. You can go to drive-through and get a lot more stuff for this game if you want to.
Oh yeah, there's so many supplements. There's so many things that it's compatible with. Basically, if you buy one of their products, you can play any of their other products. It's sort of like Palladium in that way.
Yeah.
I made the comparison for that reason, actually.
I don't see a Zimrala like the big map is here, sure. I don't see a Zimrala world setting book.
Yeah.
And maybe that's going to come out soon because, again, this book is pretty new overall. It's from like 1 year ago. There might be a Zimrala world setting book soon. And maybe that's going to fix some of the issues we have because, yeah, again, 6 pages, that's not enough to set up your world. I'm sorry, like someone making a map for it, also not really enough. Like, it's just not. Kind of like whatever tool they used for this, kind of good. Oh well. To be honest, this is very high res. I wouldn't need a bigger map. Hey, this is cool. I like his Sekatem and stuff. Like, love it. There's a lot to like here, but also there's like a third of this book that's just baffling. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's how it is.
All right, that's just how it is.
Let's go over this, right? Let's go to the index. Here. So, the rules and stunting and chaos factor and armor and equipment and the weapon section. Actually, armored equipment is the one. Like this part, super solid. You could play this super good. And if I had to like be uncharitable to this game a little bit now and say how this works is the part of the night where you are drunk but still able to be smart and coherent.
Yep.
And you're having fun with your friends and making up a system as you go.
Oh yeah, this is what this is designed for. Yeah.
This is the part where it completely goes off the rails and you are just like jumping sharks left, right, and center with the spell lists and shit. You're too drunk to make it make sense, so you're just going to make it cool, and you're not going to worry too much about if it all works together well, because it literally does not. Those gun rules confused the hell out of us. The laser guns didn't even get proper rules at all, really. And it's just falling apart in this section completely. And then this part with the of the adventures and the again world setting is literally only a few pages of world setting, which cool, we needed more. I would love to know about this world where you're supposed to play the monster. Why is there so much talk about Sekhmet and shit if those are humans, right? Why aren't we talking about Monster Society more? Also, where's the DM section that actually tells you what you are supposed to be doing in this? How you run a game for the monsters, because that feels like a different thing. Because sure, I can be like, oh, you're living in the dungeon, and then they don't defeat the player characters that come in, and you are the monsters. Lol. Yeah, that's a one shot. I can run that. But then what's the long term? How do I set up for them? If they actually think different as monsters, how do I get them to do adventures, or how do the players portray them? It's all not really answered. And then we have a long ass adventure section with some treasure generators and shit. Who cares? Sorry, but this shouldn't be here. If 112 pages, none of that. If you use these 30 pages for the DM section and more word info, it would be a way better book.
Way better.
This section feels like the one you put in the next morning with a headache, where you have to fill out the book. I'm sorry.
That's actually a really good way to put it. I have to finish this book still.
Yeah. The Over of Zimbrala feels like what you write just before you pass out. Because you write some random shit about cat people that live on an island, and about that some of the elves are from the moon, and then you just end it because you go unconscious, and then the next morning you have to pad out your fucking work with 30 pages of bullshit, and then you put some tables in and you're done. I'm sorry, but I would like to like this as a product. But I only like the first 20 pages.
Yeah, the first 20 pages, good. And then after that, what the fuck?
The first 20 pages are rock solid. That's a good system for being pretzels. We are playing in 10 minutes. Make a troll go.
Yep.
Kind of game. This isn't meant really to be. I feel like, at least anyone could run a long campaign in anything, but this doesn't feel like a long campaign game. This feels like, hey, let's have some fun. Let's just do it. You want to be a gremlin? Awesome. How about you be the archer then? Let's go. I want to be a caster? That also works. Wonderful. Just don't take that archery spell. It sucks. But even as I say caster, I'm like, okay, but then we have to engage with the spell section, which sucks. So, yeah. It's kind of it needs a rewrite. Most of this book just needs to be rewritten. I'm sorry. This is version 2.7. So basically they're saying version 3 is going to be in the works, kind of thing, right? They were both Kickstarted. That's crazy that... Man, I wouldn't be happy getting this as a Kickstarter product. I'm sorry.
No, I would not be happy. So, just to be blunt, this is one of them where this is the situation of... somebody's kickstarting based on the goodwill that they've had the last 50 years.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Kind of just spitting it out. And usually, I'm not saying always, but usually when we have a Kickstarted product that is building on the goodwill of 50 years, you expect the credit section to have, oh yeah, there's like 50 different artists that contributed to this. You expect a 200-page tome. You expect detailed this, detailed that. You didn't get any of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying the art in here is bad. I'm just saying usually what happens is they pay a lot of artists then.
I'm not sure how much money they got from the Kickstarter, but if it was like a basic success, then maybe that explains a lot of the stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
But like, be that as it may, right? Like, I don't believe that the part where we talk about basic rules that's probably unchanged from many years ago. I don't think there's really many changes you can make to the system.
No, it throws everything else off if you change something major about the system, or even minor, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where we're at. Like, again, the basic resolution system, I actually really like it. It's cool. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like the archery rules. They could probably make them better.
Oh, yeah.
But the rest of it, I like. I like how simple it is. I like how quick it is. I like that it will build tension if suddenly, oh, wait, we are fighting these guys. We have 80 points, they have 60 points. Okay, we're ahead. We're going to win this. Round 1 over. We beat them by 20. Awesome. Yes, we have got them down to 40. We win. And then like 5 new guys come in. Now it's 80 to 90 and they have the advantage. And we're like, oh fuck. We have to, can you distract the big guy we've been ignoring? We have to do something. All right, just strategize on the fly, right? That's where this would shine for me at the table, having fun with your friends. Because I think it would shine really brightly in the moment-to-moment actual gameplay of tactics and unhinged strategizing between your friends of what we could be doing, what you should be doing. Of minimal information of this, right? You are not really like as a subman, you're meant to like take the hit ever so often because you have unnatural armor, for example. So it can be like, oh, we're taking 7 damage. I'm going to take that because I only take 1 damage. It's so good. Yeah, we tanked that. Awesome. We have a chance next turn, and so on and so on and so on. Right? Like, nice, works, cool. And then the rest of it, like, I didn't need the world setting at all to play
Not
this.
really,
Obvious. Like, obviously, right? I don't need to know the Egyptos are here, the Zim exist and whatnot.
Nah.
Again, it's nice to have stats for them. I could play them. Like, this guy is way too OP to play, though, is the problem.
Yeah,
but
way too OP.
Like, not within the framework of the playable characters you want us to play, like, because of the 5 races that you gave. It's just not in there. Oh wait, actually.
Like,
thinking
this is
about
ironic.
it, I just realized
this game would have been better served.
Wait, you do play a Zim?
Generic thing.
But you play the shittest Zim ever. Look at this. The Zim has times 10 strength in the times 5 con times 15 dex. The player Zim adds 10 strength, adds 20 con, and adds 5 dex. What the hell? I just realized. I didn't realize they were the same, but they are. Why are they so different? Like, the troll is similar. The troll is also statted down. Like, times 3 versus plus 20. Actually, arguably statted up slightly, but also, like, less spiky. Like, if you rolled 15 on a troll NPC, you would have 45 strength versus here where you would have 35.
I mean, it works out if you think the average is 10.
Yeah. It works. It works here. It doesn't work at all here. Why?
No, it doesn't work for the Zim.
Again, if you put the Zim in unchanged, they're too good.
Yep.
But then just don't stat them that high in the default. Like, what?
Yeah. You don't need to. And that's the thing. It's just like, but the Zim are cool. And blah, blah, blah. No, just don't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Frankly, if Bronze Age humans came somewhere, and there were guys who were 10 times as strong and 5 times as quick and 15 times as quick and 5 times as durable, who can also regenerate 10% of their health every turn. They would lose. Those humans would fucking lose.
Like lose immediately.
How are you like? They also said explicitly the Zim are more numerous than humans. How are you supposed to beat them? Like this is the big question I have for their setting thing, which they don't answer. I'm very baffled by this book overall. Like again, I would play the basic rules immediately, like as a one shot or something, because this is like literally the simplest play a monster game you can imagine. Like you just be like, yeah, I'll play the troll. Like we each pick one of these, and let's go. Let's do something. And then the Uruk will always play with fire because they get fire resistance, right? So they're gonna be like the pyro of the group because they don't really get anything cool. But fine, that's fine. I don't care. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then have fun. Like I literally played this with D&D, where my players would had D&D characters of monsters, and we played a few sessions of that. So what I mentioned before, where their biggest success was killing a charcoal maker.
Nah.
And then they failed miserably to attack like a small hamlet.
Yeah. I'm into it.
Like that was fun. We had fun. We couldn't sleep after getting drunk. Yeah. So we spent the whole night just playing shitty D&D, and this would have been so much more conducive to playing than doing that in D&D. So I can definitely see the use case for this.
Yeah, there's at the first range of use cases, honestly, for this, and that's the main one.
Okay, so this pointed me to something. Let me put that on another tab first. It's not showing you. So Kickstarter is not greenlit.
Oh, we're using AI art. Future things.
Does it say in the thing? Oh, yeah, you can tell. Oh no. Oh no. Not all of this is AI art, but some of it absolutely is. Oh yeah, here. Use of okay. Let's put this on screen real quick and read the use of AI section before you look at anything else. Stephen Compton, by the way. So I guess wait, this is a back. Oh, it's shit. So it's not the guy who wrote this book. It's a different guy. Probably is work together though. So, what parts of your project will use AI-generated content? Please be as specific as much of the art of this book was created in AI by Ken St. Andre. Oh no.
Yeah.
So the author of the book we are looking at right now actually uses AI art. Okay, fuck this. They have the consent of owners of the works that were or will be used to produce the AI. No, the artist's work was used other than the, oh, no, I'm sorry, that's untrue. You don't have that. I don't believe you.
No, I don't believe it.
Because let's look at the art. Specifically at this guy.
That one's very obvious.
Look at his tiny hands. Still too many fingers, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 fingers. Could be intentional because this guy is like some sort of minotaur, right? Look at these pecs, though. Look at them not being correct. Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Oh man.
So bad.
They did okay, but look at this number, right? So they did 9,000 euros out of 3,200. I can see now why these previous products are as they are, because they probably got a similar amount of money for them. Can we look at 6 created? Can we do that? Comes to Compton. Created projects.
Monster area of Zimrella. Oh my god.
Here it is. 2.7. So this got $17,000.
Oof. Okay.
So it's not like they wanted 8,888. They got 17,000. So they got double what they asked for.
Yeah. It's not like they didn't get the money they asked for. Yeah.
Like the thing is, if you get double, did they have stretch goals? They get add-ons here. Okay, they probably, stupid as this sounds, right? They might have sold a lot of books as add-on, as like stretch goal stuff, instead of giving you anything for them. So the Zero Edition, everything else, $94. PDF of the rule book, PDF of the Crystal Cavern Challenge, Solo GM Adventure, 3 more. Oh man. Mini Adventure download, large color map, standee sets, and the original Zero Edition. Okay. So, yeah, how do I say this? You have a small amount of people supporting you in your retirement, and that's, I guess, good for you.
Yeah, that's it. You nailed it.
Like, why would you use AI art though? It's so baffling. And it's just very telling that you say, oh, you're not using other people's art. You are. You're using an AI model. You fucking are using AI. many other people's art. Like, sigh. The sigh.
Big sigh.
They had to put this alien guy in the back, though. He is not AI art. They photoshopped him in there. That's just Cthulhu here. Guys, look how fast you do that. But it's also, you are clearly like squandering their goodwill more and more.
Yeah.
This well is only going to be open for so long, my dudes. Like 120, 477. Wait, what? I thought this was. Oh no, this one. Okay, here. So this was probably the big one, right? What did you get for this? 37,000. So it's the one wanted 7777 for this. Okay. Like this is actually the original picture.
It is. Yeah.
This is what it was, and now they're reworking it every time. That's funny. Not necessarily in a good way. Like, you're cannibalizing your own brand there, man. A bit too hardcore. Cthulhu Crisis comic. What is this? No video, please. 14,000 of 3,600. So it's just you had someone draw a comic, okay? I like. Oh yeah, I mean it is at least an artist doing a comic. I like that. Man, this shark I got out. Like, I like this art. This looks interesting. We also saw this person's art in the in the book, because I remember the 4-titted cat lady. She's in the Zimrala section.
She's very, very special to us.
Fuck, where is she? Here, there she is. Or one of them, right? Not necessarily the same cat, but close enough.
Oh, it's definitely the same. It has the same neck dress and everything.
Wait, where do I? Yeah.
See that neck dress there?
Oh yeah, true.
Even wearing the same outfit.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah.
You're right.
It's cool.
Like, if you have artist friends, why are you pro AI, you bitch? It's so sad. Like, this is a fuck you got mine attitude, in my opinion, and that sucks. Okay.
It is. Yeah.
Let's be okay. You say what we were gonna say.
The point I was going to make a bit ago was this actually would have been better served by being a generic setting.
Oh, for sure.
Rather than an actual specific setting that they came up with but half-assed.
Yeah.
Because if this had been a thing where you can drag and drop into something else very easily, I think this would have had wider appeal, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, here you go. Like, here's an 8-stat system for this.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to adapt it for D20? For D&D 5e? Here you go. Here's a way to do that.
Yeah,
or something. I don't know.
Like, arguably, just, like, who cares? Just eyeball the stats and put them in this, and then you have your whatever monster you want in here very quickly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. It's really not that complicated. It would have been better served by that.
Yes, it would have been. Because like here's like really my final thoughts on this. You are squandering the goodwill of your last fans, my dude.
Yeah.
By doing this stuff. Like, sure, these made money. Good job. Did the troll guy himself do any Kickstarters? No,
I assumed it was, I'm old and I have to have somebody else do this for me.
Yeah. I'm asking because this guy doesn't act like no shade on this man, but he doesn't look particularly young either.
No, he doesn't.
Like he's not like 70 or 80, but he's not super young. Let's go to the about section. He's worked on many games, comics, blah blah blah. Okay, it doesn't say. Also doesn't really matter. The fact that this here specifically mentions, oh yeah, he's the author and he like is also for the art. Like, oh my god, it looks so bad. Like the issue of this is, make it this style for the background, then put the dinosaurs in there that don't fit. Or the guy, it's so bad. God, like he's too small. He's photoshopped him in there, didn't you? God, no. Like this is the one that doesn't look AI art, and I think it's probably like another product they made. I don't know.
Probably.
Oh, real artwork from the books. Cool. Are you selling that? Or is it just going to be in there? I don't get it. Steven's early 60s? Yeah, okay, makes sense. Like, sorry, but you're not going to find the success you want, I think, with this. And what is this? Even an adventure? Like, is there a Umbrella book we don't know about at this point? Does it exist? Because it can't just be the 6 pages in the 2.7 edition, right?
No.
Oh. Unexpected spider elf army. Wow. Look at this tiger snake. It looks... Oh my god. Ugh. Close this. It's terrible. Yeah. You have a solid system. Just you put too much trash in the middle of it. I like the somewhat crunchy art in this, or the inconsistent art, so much more than I like the stupid AI bullshit. And this, I was memeing on it, but you have real art here and it says charm. Look at this guy's actual muscles that someone drew. They actually make sense. Just like that bot demon. I'm here for it. Like, man, it's sad.
It is really sad. There's a lot here that has charm and some kind of vibe, but then you turn around and you look at, just it's so bad that he decided to go that way.
Yeah.
All right.
Man. Okay. So
I think we've hit this hard enough.
Yeah, we've hit this hard enough. Drake, What would you say is your favorite thing about this? Since we always do that.
I'm thinking of something. Doesn't hold back when it comes to diversity of what's supposed to be in a world where you play the monsters.
True.
It really doesn't hold back on that. Like, yes, there's plenty that are just said, no, this should be only GM run. I'm sure you can violate that very easily with this system.
Yeah.
Play Basilisk, go for it.
I think Basilisk is even playable.
Yeah. And you get my point. Just the fact that, like, most who would do this would say Ogre, Troll, Mind Flayer, and then, like, that's the most extreme. Whereas here, one of the playable options is definitely a dragon.
Yeah.
Period.
You could, like, technically, it's, like, not balanced, but fuck that. You could play a dragon.
Fuck it. Yeah, it's there. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
Because I get it, like, these kinds of systems, most people who are sitting around a table are kind of worried about balance and da-da-da. This is not intended for that.
Nope.
This is not intended for that at all. Like, you're a fucking dragon. Like, you walk into town, somebody wants to kill you for your, I don't know, your liver immediately.
Yeah.
Like, there is a quote-unquote balance to the setting immediately because you're a dragon. You can't just go around and hang out with people.
Yeah, I mean, you could be a dragon, a hydra, and a Shogox going into a bar.
Yeah, you could.
Like, probably not literally, but you get what I mean. Like, you could, in the just as easy as you could play the some character, you could play these. And that's fun. Yeah, that's cool. I agree. For me, I think, like, my favorite thing about this is besides the base system, which again rock solid. We said that already. I do like a game author telling me, yeah, this is all just guidelines if you don't have to follow them.
Oh yeah, that's so true. So true.
Like, does this? Thank you, Ken. It's a shame about your ad forays. Maybe you'll learn. This is so important because so many of the books we have read that are really terrible like want you to take every last thing in them as gospel and assume that you do to a degree that is insane.
Yeah.
They assume that you will follow every single shitty rule in there, and basically write in a way that seems like even like belittling at times to you, like, oh, this is the cool rule I made up for this moment. Look at this. And I'm like,
and I have the authority on it.
Yeah. I didn't need that. Fuck off, thanks. So that's nice. Drake, what's your least favorite thing in this?
There isn't something that stands out like shoulder arms. Like, there isn't anything like that. But was something I thought of that was very specific and oh, can you please tell me how much con and wizardry I regenerate?
Yeah, it would be nice to know, wouldn't it?
Please tell me that.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's the thing. Because the most basic thing out of all of the games that have a resource that get expended and then you recover, something that's supposed to be part of that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have it at all. That's a huge misstep. That's the core system's great, but then they don't have that. Cool. Like, it's important to make it work.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
I agree. For me, besides the fact that past page 615, literally like the first 10th of the book, 8th, I don't know, it becomes a shark jumping competition where they really just try to see how many they can jump in one go.
Yeah.
With how much bullshit is in here that doesn't make any sense, and that makes me feel crazy.
Mm-hmm.
just if I have to, since I would like to point at a specific rule I don't like in this. There's many I could point to. But it is the spell section for me, because it is the combination of, suddenly we have D&D type spells, very it's level based, and they have like a description with specific powers, blah blah blah. That I hate this. Also, so many of these fucking spells just gimp your character to high heaven because they cost permanent stat points.
Oh god, it's so bad. Oh my god. It's like, okay, it's like they took the Call of Cthulhu casting system and thought that's the best system ever, where it costs you sanity points. That's what they thought, and they're wrong. It isn't. Like, it doesn't work for this.
4 strength permanent for level 1 spell. Like, are you insane? No one would cast this in a game, ever. Would just not even read what it does because it costs permanent strength. Even the one shot, you wouldn't do that. It's bad. Don't do this. Like, there should be a way to regenerate all of these permanent damages. That's the first rule I would change. Also, I would probably just be like, fuck the spell section. I'm gonna make my own magic system for this because this is terrible.
This doesn't work.
This does not, like, 18 con permanent loss and curse. Like, it's also known as dispel magic. Are you crazy? 18 permanent hit point? No one would cast this.
No one.
Nobody. Yeah, true, Sonat. The reason this is 67, you say. We're gonna look at, okay, this is the monster section. So basically, Sandert, if we had 59 pages with the monsters, then they put house rules, and they put world, and hey, look, 67. I'm not saying it's 1-to-1 the same, but I'm saying like the basic shit that's in here, that they might, for all I know, have been copy pasted unchanged into it. I don't really see what they would change for real, except like put more insane gun rules in.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that would be about that much, because what's in here is 2 adventures and a little bit of world info. Because 67, yeah, like if we just end the book at, like, even before the house rules, say 59, and then go to the end of the book, where we have, like, see the map's not here, 1 page of ads, 60, 2nd page of ads, 61, join us at weird places, 62, some art, 63, 64, 65 for the character stuff, fan message 67, final guide 68. We're already over the number. Like, there you go. Treasure generator could also have been in. Like, you know, it's not hard to fill 67 pages, and I think it's mostly the adventures that they put in.
The adventures take up a lot of ink. And
the thing is, if they had just put 1 adventure, like if the longer city thing wasn't here and made the rest of it be word info, I would like this book more, just because they tout the world as being important, but then it's like 5 pages.
Yeah, they dropped the ball so hard.
Like, it's 6 pages, but half of that, like 1 full page is art within, so it's 5 pages of text for the world that they want to sell you. It's not cool, awesome that we have the world now, but it's not enough to tell me Calgar, lakeside town, its occupants unknown. What?
I hate that so much. Please don't fucking do that in your fucking, like, launch book.
Yeah, like, Vent here, Riverside Town, ruled by Serpentman. Okay, awesome. Like, I don't care. It's not any information. I could have. Here it is, Calgar. Like, I don't need this. I could have come up with this on my own. / just off of having the map. Like, if we just look at the map, we always loads a long time because it's the biggest file in this probably. If you just look at the map, I'm like, Bug Island, awesome. We want to go there. Oh, there's ruins here, cool. Here's Kanto. Its inhabitants unknown. There's a pyramid though. Why is it unknown? It's like at the fucking coast. Sekatem is right here. They could sail over and look at who lives there. Like, it makes no sense.
It just literally doesn't. And that's the biggest problem I have with like the inclusion of a setting at all. Just you spend so much time trying to be consistent of the power differential between a Minotaur and a Basilisk, but not this. Fuck off.
What I don't like about the map, like, I like the map, to be clear. Like, this is the thing, this is fine. But if you put like cool pyramids for some towns, just put like icons for everything. Don't put the little dot there. This just feels like those are the bitch places that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if there was a big ant on Bug Island. Wouldn't that be cool?
Be artsy. Like, seriously, just be artsy. That's what good cartography is. And honestly, okay, this is going to be kind of controversial. I look at this and I think, I don't know what these trains are. I just don't. It says it says the forest of Ziesel. Okay, that tells me that this is a forest.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing that tells me the thing, not the color. So as a result, it's okay to label all of these things.
Yes.
And that's the problem I have with this map. Throw more pictographic things on here. Throw a little tree. Throw an elf.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, obviously, like, oh, the north is ice, and then there's some tundra, and then you have forest. Okay, fine. But then there's hills here. Are these hills? Yeah, because you can see down here that there's hills sometimes in the green area.
Yeah.
But not all of it is hilly, is it? But no, it is actually, because that's just the art they used for forest. But then down here, it's different.
Well, it's different. You get my point, though.
Yeah.
If you're going to go and label some points like Southern Jungle, then do that with all of this map. Because the thing is, it's like, I don't know what the Midlands is at this point. Is it the Midlands Plains? Is it the Midlands Grasslands? Like, just throw in another word, please.
This world was also described as mostly tropical. So if a fifth of your map is clearly the taiga and tundra and ice flows of the far north.
I'm not getting that vibe, guys.
Yeah, like, basically everything we see on my screen right now is also going to be cold. Then everything we see on my screen now is going to be like this, more or less. It's going to be European to Southern European temperature, and then this is going to be where it's actually warm. But that's my logic immediately when I look at this. Like, it's, I don't know. Like, I like the map still, but it doesn't even gel with what you wrote about your setting.
Yeah, it doesn't convey enough. Like, you compare this to, I'll just use Eberron as the example. Their main continent, Corvair, it conveys something, and that's what I want. I want something to be conveyed by a picture.
Yes.
And that's what I like about most of the art in this book, is it conveys something.
Yeah.
But then, the new monster manual, they say, oh, we're going to convey something with this picture, and then they don't. Like,
Waggles, what you didn't, they prove they aren't artsy at all if they employ AI art in one of their future books. So the thing is, the main author of this is not an artist, but the other two authors are/were. One of them is dead.
Yeah.
And they drew this stuff. Like, they drew it literally. So they are artists. This our main guy isn't. And yeah, Longmire 19, like, some real person drew this. Like, look at this fucking Maladorian. Like, obviously it's a funny reference, but still, I love it. Like, yeah. And as sad as it is, the more they release of this, the more it's going to just be, at least that's what my fear is. Them, like, scavenging a corpse that is progressively less and less full of meat because they have been scavenging it for so long.
Mm-hmm. I do have a term for this, corpse slop, because they're literally taking whatever they can from the corpse of their 50-year-old game and turning it into slop.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to be mean to an old person, but are you sure you're still fully able to write a coherent book over 100 pages? Because it doesn't seem to me like it you are.
Doesn't feel like it, no.
Because stuff in here contradicts itself.
Yep.
You just put the Zim here without describing them as giants. I get it, this book is for your fans, but still. I'm sure they would appreciate this anyway if you put a description of the Zim there. Because if someone has been with this game for 50 years, they are super fans and they would probably enjoy any content about like these creatures. Or alternatively, if these are new guys that you made up, then it's even less defensible why you don't even put like human, like a guy like the size of this boot next here and to make clear that they are giants. Like honestly, I still don't know how big they are.
No, I have no idea. You just put the outline of a human next to them.
Actually, they do have the height in the Sim. But they would have it somewhere in here. Height. Whiz page look. Wait, these don't have height? The others had height.
They don't have height or weight, no.
What the fuck?
It's just stats page number.
Why is this different? What? I guess we need the Monster of Cinderella book to know how big a Zim is.
Yep.
But yeah, it is indeed because I guess because these are from the Monster Manual.
Yep.
Weird.
Book.
Weird. And I'm weirded out because I thought, hey, wait, I didn't just look it up, but we can look up because height was a thing in this thing, right? Yeah, it's not. Yeah, okay, I think that's enough. I think we drove it home. I would still play this base system. I would just ask everyone not to play a wizard, and then you can have like fun with this.
Yeah.
It works for that. It's cool.
I agree.
I'm just sad now that this is like being scavenged like it is. Man. Unfortunate.
All right. Now you're gonna ask me, what are we doing next?
I would ask you that. Yeah. What's the next game you're looking at?
All right. Are we willing to look at some more 3E slop?
3E slop.
Yep. From 3rd edition.
Why are you giving me D&D, darling?
I will tell you why. Because this came across my desk recently.
Okay.
And it stood out because I was like, why the fuck would you write this? And I shall give you the image and let you look at the image.
Should I put the image on screen or?
Yeah, you probably should, because then everybody can be like, what the fuck also?
Testament! Oh my god, yes, I want this.
Yeah. Now you get it. It's 3E slop, but I'm like, somebody needs to review this.
Role playing in the biblical era. I find it very funny that everyone they show in this page is about to die. That's gonna be a fate. Requires the use of Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition core books published by Wizards of the Coast.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing Testament next. Okay, I'm in.
I will give one Easter egg / tiny sweetener for those of you watching.
Yes.
There are 4 main I'll call them cultures that you can play: the Babylonians, the Canaanites, the Egyptians, and the Israelites. And the Israelites, you can pick the Levite priest, which replaces cleric as your class. And one of the class features is Scribe Torah Scroll.
Oh no. Okay, I call dibs on playing the Son of God, by the way. Sorry folks, I did it. It's too late for all of you to play the Son of God now. I call dibs.
Cool toy Jesus has risen. Yes. It's just there are so many things in here that I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And that's what will be fun about it. Honestly, it's just looking at the most extreme example of.
Oh wait,
I can put this in 3rd edition.
I'm stupid. I didn't put it on screen. Sorry, I put it in the wrong tab.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is, folks. Here it is. Not that you needed to really see this, but yeah, here's
Testament role playing in the biblical year.
By Scott Benny. Again, I have called dibs on playing the Son of God. Which means I'm also God and the Holy Spirit, if you know about your transubstantiation. So get fucked. I win. Oh my god, this is gonna be quite something. I look forward to this now. It's not our typical fare, because we're ultimately playing D&D 3rd edition, which is, oh my god, but yeah. Okay.
But at the same time, I'm like, people talk about some things from 3E era that were really good, like Ravenloft, etc. I'll give it that. But there was stuff that was bad, like Haven City of Violence was kind of from that era also.
Yes.
And then there's this, which is a why the fuck did you write this? Which is what I would prefer to review over all that. So
I actually hard agree. Okay. I think that's it for today, though, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
This took it all out of me. Well, after the first 20 pages, I was like, oh god, no.
Yeah.
No.
Now we get to look at all these sharks we have arrayed for you to jump over with your jet ski. Like, oh my god. Like,
Mort is doing their anniversary.
Yes, I know. I was going to raid Mort because do plan to be on that stream a little bit later, but I need to eat and stuff first now.
Yep.
So yeah, folks, thanks for hanging out today. Look forward to Testament next time. I'm sure we'll meme on that a bunch.
Yeah, it'll be very memey.
And yeah, Monday we should be back with Waggles and Thunder playing probably Gen 0, right? That's probably what we're doing.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I did buy Waggles the certain game, so we might do that in the future, but I'm not gonna spoil. Yeah. Beyond that, I'll have a schedule up. Also, my anniversary is coming up in a month's time, more or less. I'm gonna try to have an announcement as to the plans for next week sometime as well. Anyway, I'm gonna hit the button. See you all soon. Bye bye, everybody. Have a good one.
See you. Bye bye.
Okay.